Hello, welcome back. If this is your first time, I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. I am Tradespotting. Fresh off a weekend from slaying fools on Twitter. Back with another day of price action that of course we called in advance, and filling you in on all the gaps between now and the future. You've been sold a number of lies, one of which is that content is king. I too believed it and was the king of this shit. But what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Mom and pop groups, circle jerk Facebook groups, absolute knob-ends, complete and utter fanny magnets rule the roost on social media. They get away with fucking broad daylight robbery. They impinge on your and my reputation. We thought we could dispel them by bringing the future to now, by making millions in front of their eyes. But it did not work. It did not work. And thank the Lord, a kind and blessed individual, a talented queen from America who has worked in public radio for years. Somebody who I knew from chat but haven't spoke to personally, I'm now in great gratitude and admiration of. Thank you so much. You told me the truth. The truth is, it's not content, it's format. Format is king. So here I am, King Jamie the First of format. At 25 past the hour, we've got the news. The news brought to you by Tradespotting. So bear that in mind if you're looking forward to it. Until then, it's housekeeping. That's what we've already been doing. Welcome to the housekeeping section of the show. If you're in chat, congratulations. You've made it to the place to be. I would say thank you for tuning in, but if you know, then where else would you rather be? Thank you so much for paying attention through the start of that show. As you can see, we got two very different kind of vibes on the go. But that's true of the dichotomy you have here. Both one very passionate, sometimes raving individual who may entertain or alternatively motivate you in various different ways to stick to your convictions. You also have somebody who can direct you to the truth, a direct line to the truth with regards to technical analysis and price action. Here we are on the 1 minute chart. As you can see, this is the top of the range. And this line that was previously yesterday's top is now today's low. The average true range of today, the opening range on today's price action, along with the opening range, the whole start and end, middle of it, and now, as you maybe noticed if you tuned into the midday update, and now the end of it is being defined by these lines. My lines are better than other people's lines. That's why you're here. And if you're not here in spirit, if you're only here in spirit, or if you're just listening along, or even if you're watching later, please hit like. It really helps the channel. The channel. It's not actually, as it might seem, a channel on YouTube. It's more a broad cross-section of the community that are the natural born reaction to the bastards that run the world. And if you want more information on that kind of philosophy or conversation, or to have further outline and definition of that enemy who you are fighting in this war, which you do not even perhaps realize you have entered, one which has been going on since before your parents were born. This war, their war, the war against you, then tune into the interview that I had with Give Me the Gist, which was published this morning before price action opened. That's Tradespotting meets the gist. And as you can see, we're coming up for 20 past the hour. Price action is blooming at 162.82. We're killing it. You're killing it. This is brilliant. Don't you love this new format? And the truth is, that actually, this isn't me making any sort of change whatsoever other than compartmentalizing that part of my personality that I hope most benefit the audience. So if you've got a problem with it, fuck off, you're not welcome. If you're still here and you haven't hit the like button, what is your problem? Hit the like button already. And price action, 163, spot 45. Well, that's lovely, and that's going to lead us right up into the news. It's 20 after, you hear me, it's 20 after. This one goes out to all the boys and girls who are back at work running the economy. You guys filling up the gas, you guys trucking down the road, thanks very much, this one. And everyone is for you guys. So, the news, as the price action's nearly at 164. Guys, this is awesome. Oh, yeah. Thanks very much for the compliments on the shirt. I see you there in chat. Yes, the interview was good. The guy seems cool. We need people with strong character, broad shoulders, a trenchant conversationalist way of telling a story that can document this cultural touch point for future generations, this map of revolution in this modern time. And we rely upon the authenticity of good people. We will be those who choose, who represent us going forward. And so we must choose wisely and support those causes which are most authentic. I think that's very important. And as such, it was a pleasure to speak to Josh from Give Me the Gist. And I urge you all to support him and, of course, GME. And it would be fantastic to speak to other people documenting this movement, this moment, this political action, this story of GME and AMC. Us the apes, as some call us. Dumb money, as others like to say. So we're in the news. It's the news. This is the news brought to you by Tradespotting. As you will be aware, if you follow me on Twitter, that would necessitate you knowing my username on there, which is @_Tradespotting. It's fantastic, it's imaginative, and it's consistent with my branding across the channel. Hey Jamie, you think there's a chance that it's just another trap, just like the last run up to 130? My euphoria was really high that day, then crashed back down. Learned later, a trap. I don't know if let me talk about how you've defined your own psychology and ways to approach thinking about this situation that we're in at the moment and moving through in such a process in a short while. Stefan, I read out your message because you've been a follower since the beginning. I love you so much. I read everybody's message, if not at the time, just afterwards. The news brought to you by Tradespotting. So, as you'll have seen, if you follow me on Twitter, we are not actually dumb money. That's a stupid term, right, that's used by others to define us. And people say we've adopted it, and we've adopted this term of the apes, and we've adopted all these other terminologies that were around long before we, perhaps, were, that describe us in a negative light. And we've done it as such a way as to protect ourselves. But the truth is that we just follow the money. And the smart money is in GME. The world's most profitable hedge funds are long on GME. 1.6 billion among the world's top performing hedge funds. 1.6 billion, as reported by the Financial Times. Now, as you'll know, this is the news. It's brought to you by Tradespotting. I tell you the news on the charts before it happens. The way news works, whether it be talk radio, YouTube, your CNBCs or elsewhere, the way news works is they report on things retrospectively. They do that by defining when events have ended so that they can put a narrative on top of it. Often that news is constructed, faked, or put across to you in such a way as to grab your attention, get subscribers, hit like, etc. But that's not the way I'm ever going to fucking go. I will, though, put it in the format that you most appreciate. And so this is why we are here at 24 after talking the news. And the news, as brought to you by Tradespotting, was actually on Friday when I told you we were inverted head and shoulders on the chart. I showed you how the way I do them increases the probability of success rate in using it in a robust tool for a technical analysis perspective from managing your risk and getting profitable trades so that you can empower your life and make a difference to the environment around you and live an effective life, that one life you've got. I told you can improve that reliability from 40% to 50% by doing head and shoulders the way I do. Then I opened up the dark pool markets and showed you the institutional order flow had put in a higher low when we had put in a lower low. That lower low being the head on our inverted head and shoulders. That head and shoulders is a reversal pattern that comes at the bottom of a trend. I showed you how to increase the reliability of that to 50%. Then I showed you how the smart money, quote unquote, was already betting long. Then I pointed it out in the news, and I had already told you in advance, so you were able to make a difference to your life. Now you buy the rumor, not the news. So what is next week's news? This is next week's news brought to you today, Monday, by Tradespotting. Next week's news, well, we'll have to save that for 35 after the hour, because we're going to quickly do a quick touch on the 1 minute time frame and look at the technical analysis here as we've come in. Our resistance, as so often happen, formed to peak. Is that good or bad? Well, no, but it gives us context with which we can make a measurement, so we can dictate to ourselves how interpret these charts and where price action is going. It talks to us all the time. You just have to listen. And to attune your ears, all you need to do is listen to me. That way you will as well benefit from my years and years of work, which I put into these granules of information and deliver to you in a way that you can most easily benefit from, because I support you and your cause, whatever that might be, wherever you may come from. Whatever you are, if you're an AM radio listener, if you're a PM kind of part of the world, if you're a morning bird, if you're a nightingale, an angel, if you're working in triage, if you're working in petrol stations, if you're in an office, if you're in a classroom, I'm here to help you. If you're either side of the rich-poor divide, I'll teach you how to get the most out of your trades. All you need to do for me in return is one good deed a day, and hitting the like button on this video doesn't even come close to constituting that. So you better have already hit that. Now we're above the 50 period moving average, we're above the 200 period moving average, and we're in this channel that we've dictated on the 1 minute time frame, and might be likely to interest price action for the next period of time, perhaps even up until close, but we'll see how that goes. If we do go above, we've got a level at 171.40. If we do come down, I said those moving averages, that's on the 1 minute time frame, so we'll take that with a big, massive boulder of salt. On the indicators, if you're looking at that, you've probably got a hole in your head. If you have, I'd suggest you make your way to the nearest hospital. There's inverted head and shoulders. It's got a registered move on it. We've probably done about 60% of that. That's all you can necessarily bank on from using that as terms of interest. Also, that comes at the same point as this long-term diagonal trend line, which we're still underneath. It also comes around 382 Fibonacci, which is the retracement against the trend. So people ask you, what is this Fibonacci sequence? Why is it important? What does it mean? Well, I can tell you off the top of my fucking head that Fibonacci is an absolutely beautiful mix of pizza, pasta, and ice cream that was invented in the mountains of Italy, in the northern Fibonacci mountains, right? There's also this flying turtle that goes there once a year for the special type of algae that only blooms in these dolomite Fibonacci and marvelous pools that just randomly show up for absolutely no reason on top of this huge mountain. Anyway, so up there in this, there's this huge cave, and in there is the monk of Fibonacci, and what he does is he goes like and that, and he came out with these numbers this one day, and since then, what people have been able to do is you just plug those numbers into like a special code that you can get if you tune in to Tradespotting every week, and that gives you the winning lottery numbers, right? And when you take those and you put them into a sequence, you can use them, right? And you can use them to measure something. And this tool I use is called a Fibonacci retracement tool. And what that does is it measures the retracement against the current trend. And within that current trend, when you lay it out on the y-axis, you have a series of cascadingly important levels. We call these the Fibonacci sequence. It mirrors other things in nature, as I said, those important mountains, that secretive cave, that pilgrimage that you can go on of pasta, pizza, and ice cream. It'll take you to the truth, which is there are a series of levels. They're important in nature, they're important on the charts, they're important for price action, and they've been one of the ways I've used to tell you where prices are going. In this instance, on this Fibonacci sequence, measuring this retracement of this trend, you can see that the 382 is the level just below us at 162.72. Or just above us. It's a zone. You can see that above that you've got various other levels, but I'm here to tell you that the next most important one above us is the 618. That is also a zone that extends to the 0.065. We call it the golden pocket. Why? Who gives a fucking shit why? As if you're going to be able to remember all the other important things I've said in the last couple of minutes. Never mind that. So when price action gets there, it'll be at 174.72. There are important aspects to that. It would need to go through the 0.5, which in Dow theory, and there's many aspects to it, I'm not going to go on to them all now, but one of them is that retracements to the 50% line, as in halfway against the previous trend, is nothing other than likely continuation. So you want to see prices beyond there, which means beyond 168. Now people will tell you who do Elliott waves that means that we're in this next section of a phase. But what they don't understand is that they're still not tuning in to Tradespotting enough. Or if they are, they're not giving me enough credit, because then they'd be tagging me in their Reddit and Twitter posts, and I'd be able to add value to their output, which would be good for the cause. So if that's you, listen up. Tag me, I'll help you. This is all about the cause. It's not about me getting credit. I'll always be there to help you regardless of any of our past history too, unless you're a complete fucking fanny, and we all know who that is. Right, so price action. Whoa! Because we've got the news coming up. We've got to fill in the news again. This is only a quick update. The next one above us is the 618. It's up 174.72, right? That's where we're looking for prices to get to. In order to get there, they'd have to break that Fibonacci level at the 0.5. It's also a horizontal support and resistance. So it may also come in line with the way some people trade Elliott wave. If so, it may be that that's the area where prices then come down a little bit. But do I think that's significant? No, I don't, because we're on the 15-minute time frame. If you got to significant ones like the hourly, you can see that the hourly support and resistance is around 171.82. I can tell you from experience, if you haven't tuned in here for long, that you want to be actually looking in at around the 4-hour time frame. While it may be quite possible and profitable to trade the hourly time frame on traditional stocks and shares, equities, especially things like this. In this particular instance, day trading GME or AMCs, I'm going to go on to look at, is counterproductive to your own account and the greater cause that you're part of. There are other things to trade. I'll give you really good TA on them. Just come along here. I'll help you in your trades by adding my own value to them. Now, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but fuck, I'm hot shit at this, by the way. So price action, you're looking for them to get up here. If you did get up to that 618, that 174.72, you'd be putting in 4-hour opening closes above the 100, the 236 on a previous Fibonacci to your left, which you came out of. on our rise from the cup and handle area up to our previous highs that came in around over 300 in around the start of June, and that would be something that we'd all love to see. So now prices, it's 34 after. We've got 60 seconds left to look at this, and to get there you'd have to go past the 200 period moving average on the 4 hour, which is 188. So 187 to 188, that is where I am looking price action open and close above. That is the level for GME. Okay, next week's news, 188. Okay, back to next week's news. What are they going to tell you next week? Well, welcome to next week's news. It turns out that GME is continuing in its positive trend, outperforming the market. It's like other things, less reflexive than it was, because people are coming in, they're counter trading the volatility, and it's meaning that price action isn't expanding in range as it might previously have done, and so signatures will change, and it's along with the technical analysis, so will this inflection in the news. Things about GME will start making it back into mainstream media, and come the end of the week, the start of next week, the things people will be talking about will be what GME has to do and has to simply maintain in order to make it into even larger cap funds, because those other larger cap funds themselves will be facing readjustments, and and what's going to happen to the greater market. And so when you look at the news to come for GME, you can already see that the charts are predicting that prices are going to move up. They're going to test to see if we're in an upwards or downward trend. People are going to start refocusing on the greater pattern you have here on the 4 hour, and even more importantly on the 2-day and 3-day and the weekly time frame, where you're going to see this is obviously a pennant, this is obviously very bullish price action, this is obviously an ascending triangle, this is obviously a very bullish trend, and that's going to be supported by volume that's going to start coming in. And when I say volume, I mean relatively strong volume compared to what we've seen before. And why is all of that happening? Well, the bastards are going to get they're going to get caught, because you know when the weapon inspectors go in, right? You have to suddenly shut down a significant amount of your capacity in order to, meet the lie that you've sold them. You need to shut down a significant amount of capacity, which leaves you exposed in areas that you were previously applying pressure. So let's see, right? Let's see. Weekly time frame, Friday. Where would we like to see prices? Well, anywhere in and around here is positive. If you make it above the 172 on a close, that's fantastic. If you make it up to 200, imagine you made it up to $200. Whoop-dee-doop-dee. That'd be lovely. What else are we looking at in the next period of time? Well, if you think about it, next week, you're running out of time, aren't you? Really? You're running out of time. The people like Jim Cramer, people who are sponsored to push the other side of the narrative, will tell you that the strategic plan of GameStop is not going fast enough. But what they are doing is trying to pick upon those areas of growth which are most beneficial long-term to GameStop, so that they can choke this liquidity, so that they can squeeze its narrative, so that they can control the story. But the actual truth, the actual news, is that not just is GME going to be added to bigger funds, not just is that it's going to continue its negative beta, yet within a lower degree of volatility, not just that it'll be putting in stronger signals, it's also that GME has over $1 billion in cash. It's approaching times historically when they've had dividends. Now, that's not to say that there's going to be one. And I'm not saying that this framework or this timeline I'm going to outline is any reality. I'm just going to show you as an example how these things work. Okay, companies have an earnings report. Okay. Now, I tell you the news is stupid. I'll tell you ahead of time, and remember that for the end of this, right? Companies have an earnings report. On that point of time, what they normally do, if they can, is they'll announce whether or not they're going to have a dividend. Now, you cannot compel a company to have a dividend, especially not if you're just a common stockholder. But often they do, right? Often they do. At that point, they'll say what their earnings per share is. They'll say other things, right? It has to do with their cost basis and fundamental value ratios that people will use to work out what they think this stock is worth in terms of its dividend return and then the true value of something. Okay, so this is how some people look at the value of stocks, and it's how I would look at things from some levels. But I'm a chartist. I'm a classical chartist, and I believe that technical analysis is the way forward because price action is king. And I'd love to have that conversation with people I respect who actually focus on fundamental analysis, and I do often with somebody who I know well, who's one of the top traders in the world, who is a fundamental analyst. Met people like Sergey Brin before they started their company, when they were first getting funding, and was responsible for whether or not they'd get it from the large banks. That type of analyst, who does forensic accounting and properly investigates the founding team at the very first level of some of the biggest growth companies in the world, and it also is a trader for one of the biggest banks in the world, works on the biggest funds in the world. This person who themselves has made personally whatever the fuck, right? But they get in right at the very beginning of these things, and on top of that, on terms of they get in right at the very edge of innovative technologies, and they know right down to the university research levels what different people are doing in that. They're the sort of people who are bullish on GME, and they look at these sort of developments with regards to the cryptocurrency and the NFT and these sort of potential things, and we have discussions and we talk about it, and then I say things on Twitter, or I'm about to say now, work backwards from the idea of, and I think about these things. Your earnings report, you announce if you're going to have a dividend. If you are, you talk about what it may or may not be worth its value. Let's call that its intrinsic value. And you'll need to have an intrinsic value for this to be something that is legally legitimate. So they've got an earnings report, they've got a dividend announcement. At that point, they'll have a record date. That record date is when they mark down who it is going to receive that dividend, regardless of not whether you hold the shares after that record date. If you held them on that record date, then you are rewarded with that dividend. And there has to be, for this dividend to work legally, legitimate and fair and reliable and robust way for everybody who has a right to claim it to be able to claim it. And working back chronologically, they'll have a record date. You'll have to be on that, right? And now let's think about it. If that was, say, now I'm not saying this is happening. I'm just saying if that was, as GameStop would not historically have done a dividend announcement in and around now for a dividend payout in and around the start of September. My birthday is in around the start of September. That'd be cool. Then they would all that sort of stuff would start kicking off now. And so the news comes after the event, right? And you'll have probably heard it said by the rumor. Now, I'm not going to say you sell the news, because you don't in this instant, right? Because we already know the greater picture, right? The bigger picture. And if you don't, what the fuck? Right? So this is a family show now. So yes, it is correct, Frostcrest. So this is the thing, right? So you're working back, because you want to buy the rumor. And who's, I'm not one for pushing dates. I amn't. But I'm also like, I've been around the block. So, like, cool, man, right? Cool, man. It's all good. But I also like a good rumor. You know, I like it not necessarily due to its veracity. And I'm not saying this narrative that I've outlined is the framework for actual events. I'm just saying it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. And I'll tell you what, more about the news. If you are to look at, and if you do as I do, rely on being able to exploit your abilities to manage risk and trade the stocks, and remind me to tell you a story about what would happen if everybody traded after this. We'll have that. That's a story time. That's coming up at the top at 15 after. At 15 after, that's coming up. Ahead of that at 45 after, we're going to go back and do more technical analysis. At this stage, we're just finishing off the news here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hit that like button. And if you have to leave, make sure to come back. I'm on until markets close. Don't even think about leaving. Hit that like button. So thank you very much. So yes, back to where I was which was about to have a cup of drink of coffee. So if you're investigating these things and you're good at doing this shit, one of the things you'll know about dividends, right? One of the things you'll know, if you're smart, right? If you're good, if you've been like, as I have on the other side of the fence, and had to pick up on how other traders operate, not just what they're doing, but their sleight of hand, not just their sleight of hand, but its consequence and the motivations therein. Those things they're trying to hide and those things they're trying to pretend to hide. One of the things you can do to cut through all of the deception and try and figure out ahead of time and ahead of your competitors, and now I'm giving away absolute fucking gold dust here, is that you can look at these dividends that are being paid out by these companies. You can look at who the major shareholders are of these companies. You can look at where their personal tax base is. And you can say it's most advantageous for this principal shareholder to have their most significant dividend payments come at this particular schedule. I got you, ape gang. This is from the other side of the rich-poor divide. This is from the guy who worked at one of the investment banks, among others, one of the investment banks who are the third largest institutional holder of GME, telling you, it's a direct line to the truth. I've even got the Darkpool data. I've got the institutional order flow. I've got the option chain even in the alternative trading systems. I even know how it all worked and have worked in areas that has necessitated me filing data that goes into these filing cabinets and Excel spreadsheets and gets saved down and gets put in a cardboard box, brought to you by Iron Mountain, gets shipped off to a warehouse. Years later, the regulations that have led to those practices and those areas of compliance that I was involved in filling out and fucking ticking forms and signing shitty stupid boxes on, years later, that regulation, which I was working on, gets implemented officially, and then you have other YouTubers with twice the audience I do who read the PDFs retrospectively, pretend that they are bringing you information, and have twice the audience I do, and cannot actually help your life, who will not talk about how freaking good it is over here. What a joke. And instead, they spend their time associating with the worst of the worst people of our communities. And they do it on these circle jerk mum and pop groups on social media, and those same people who they once attacked and accused me of being one of to slow my roll. Counterproductive to our cause. Those people who still, despite having been proved wrong, not just privately, but in the court of public opinion still refuse to apologise because they're clinging on to some small sense of power because they're ego-driven narcissists. Yes, that's true. They live among us, as they always fucking did, and you've experienced them in your own life. I sympathise, empathise, and fuck the bastards. Right, so the ticker, 164.15. Next week's news is all about how Ryan Cohen is an absolute legend and shit's going down. They're going down on the charts. In fact, they're going up, 164.15. The time is 49 after, so that's actually, I don't know what I said about the schedule, but fuck it, I said stuff, and if you tuned in from then to now, congratulations. As you can see, we've put in an equal low, we've put in lower low on our momentum there in the 4 hour, and these all things are all really spread out. It's actually the weekly, and I can't be bothered talking about that, so what's the point? Down to the 15-minute time frame, you can see that we've put in a higher high here. We can see that we've got a touch of divergence between these two highs. We'd expect that in the period of trend. I legitimately can't decide which I love more in the show, your TA or the leopard print shirt. I need one. Daniel Groves is nice, isn't it? I was once at a fashion show in Berlin. That might surprise you, especially if you are into fashion or live in Berlin, because you got a very small fashion. You have got a very small fashion area there, like it's like Australia, like loads of it's like sponsored by car companies and that. It's a little bit like, ooh. Anyway, it's all good, right? Anyway, long story short, I was there, right, and I was backstage, and this designer comes in. He's Italian, but he's working for this German brand, and I'm sitting there backstage chatting to people, and I'm wearing this shirt, right? And he comes up to me, he's like, "Mo, I love the pattern so much," and he's speaking Italian. I don't know what he's saying, because I don't speak Italian, but I do know that he likes my shirt, partly because his hands are like inside my shirt, and like, anyway, right, it's a fashion show, and you get used to this. So I'm there, right, and only my berry was on. Who knows how far he would have got, right? Anyway, point is, he was asking where I got the shirt from, and I couldn't remember, and I still can't remember, but it was probably a charity shop, and I know I'd cut the label off, so he didn't know. So I said, "Oh, mate, that's my design. That's mine." At the time, I didn't have a shop with my designs, but now I do. It's at unreasonable.shop. And if you type that in, you'll get there. You'll also see at the top of chat, I've pinned some merchandise from it. I don't advise you to go there. If anything, I'd advise you against it. You won't enjoy the prices. You'll enjoy less the customer service. But though there are a few better ways to support the channel and get a reward, other than just like everything else, which is also great. And on that point, there's links in the description where you can donate in a way that doesn't have any fees. And of course, there's patreon.com/tradespotting, where it's all a great way of supporting me. And thanks very much. I see there's shitloads of things I've missed in terms of donations. I'll get to that at the top of the hour, plus some. In the meantime, we're going to drop back into the technical analysis, which we're supposed to be doing. And at the end of the section, I want to touch on two quick things. One, sugar. What was it? Secondly, I just see somebody say, "Hey, Tradespotting, is the treasure hunt done?" No. It's not done. What the heck? Come on, people. I will try. I'll endeavour to make some sort of episode or Reddit post which updates everybody with like where it's come from and some of the clues, so that people can get more enthusiastic about it. I'm like want to put more clues out there, but 3 stages along the journey, 2 in particular, I've given away like multiple clues in a row because people weren't getting the essence of how it worked, hoping that would spur on some an afterburner in terms of the way that people were approaching things. But despite those perhaps having worked, there wasn't like a greater thing. So we're back on normal scheduling with RE clues, which means one's coming soon, but I'm not telling you when. You've had some recently. I'm not telling you when. I will update you with some of them in a video or a Reddit post soon. And yet $10,000 you can win. All you need to do is figure out the fucking answer in it. It's fun and it's amazing. And I've also started working on Treasure Hunt 2, the prize for which Wait a second. What? Welcome to Chimp Ashley. It's really appreciated. Thanks for that. That's amazing. That's awesome. Stage 1 trade point. I have no idea what that means. Awesome, Electro Boy. Congratulations. Congratulations to everybody who's made it to any stage through anything. That's fantastic. You're on the path to success. You've already proved you can commit yourself to a higher purpose, stick at it, never break the chain. Right. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody, the other thing I was going to talk about before I went to price action was something else I forgot about. It was important. I can't remember what it was. Tradespotting. I got back, maybe FUVTA update if you can squeeze it in at the end. Perhaps, CD Burn Guy, perhaps we'll look at it. Can you tell me what I last said about it? That would be really appreciated. Tradespotting, check Discord DM, please. I may get round to doing that, my friend. If you want me to do it before the end of the show, I can't guarantee it. I thought this was Treasure Hunt number 2, Tradespotting. It is, right? Treasure Hunt number 1 was kind of like a test, right? This is what happened, right? I'll tell you the truth of all this whole story, right? Rocky started YouTube. He started doing a really good job for incredibly good purposes in a way that took him away from what was already really lucrative thing he's doing. Yo, thanks so much, Mr. Wayne. Have a drink with me. Well, too. I'll have like 3 or 4 of that. Cheers, my friend. He started doing that, and he inspired me, and we had conversations about shit. And I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if we could do this? If we could grow a YouTube channel, and between us, we could both do that and do it separately and express ourselves on the internet, get the most from our own lives, and help people, and do it for all the right reasons. Is it possible to to change the world and do it in a way that on my terms, on your own terms? Is that really fucking possible nowadays? Can you prove to other people it is by just doing it? And we thought, yeah, it is, right? And I thought, well, if that's possible, it's also possible that in so doing it, right, in that story, your story, in my story, what there could be is this other thing, that alongside it would be its own narrative, because I've always felt like it's a little bit don't like it being about me, but at the same time it's my life, so anyway, that fucking that's whatever, right? So anyway, yeah, there's probably fucking shit there. I've read Murder in a Cathedral, and it fucked me up, right? Anyway, so I don't anyway, right? Long story short, I wanted there to be the best treasure hunt in the world, because that's what I love, right? I love treasure hunts. I wanted the best treasure hunt in the world. I wanted to be growing and happening with this channel. And I thought, well, it would work like this, it would be like this, and this would be fucking amazing, right? If it was this. And Rocky was like, yeah. And then we were like, these would be the fucking... These would be the fucking... This would be the way, right? This would be the way to do that, right? This. And we come from Edinburgh. Edinburgh took Europe, which was essentially the way that the world, as history books will tell you, was the world at the time. It took the rest of the world out of the Dark Ages. Edinburgh did. Edinburgh, and I say Edinburgh, I mean it. It's just Edinburgh. It was just a small street at the time. And we invented every fucking thing, right? Every fucking thing. And the reason it happened is because we had so many philosophical breakthroughs, so many evolutions and breakthroughs, so much progress in mentality of a body and group of people that all moved and worked together in a way that improved everybody's life and the quality of life across all, the whole world. The whole dynamic of power changed in the Enlightenment. And one aspect of that was through empowering people, right, to trust science and facts above institutions and fear. And so this treasure hunt, this channel, and me, Jamie, right, and Rocky, that's what we want to do. We want to help empower you to be the hero of this journey, the hero of your own life, the master of your own destiny, the protagonist, the antagonist, the author and the narrator, and the mystery's final page. We want you to understand how you can change the world around you. That's the whole thing, right? The whole thing, right? It's the trifecta. It's the Holy Trinity, right? It's the triptych story. It's the way you right? And so here we have it, right? I decided there'd be a treasure hunt. And I decided there'd be prizes. And so I didn't know what the prize would be. I didn't know how much it would be, how much it would work out like. So I thought, well, I also don't know if this shit works, right? So I was like, start with like how clues would be done and how that would happen. I'll do like a test of different stages. So I did that. And the most obvious one was the first treasure hunt, which was I put out a clue and I started to see if anyone would get the frickin' answer. And somebody did, right? But when I thought it would take maybe a day or two, it instead took over a year for somebody to get the answer. And they got the answer, congratulations, right? More on that at another time. And then, upon announcing that somebody had won, I was like, fucking thank God, right? Sweet. Now we can kick off, like, that, you know. Anyway, so then I did, right? And at the same time, I'd managed to, like, the YouTube channel had grown to a certain stage. We had a number of people in the audience. And we talked about various things. I'd reached various milestones. And I wanted to demonstrate that this channel was, and always will be, about the audience. And so, while still feeling as though obviously I should be rewarded for the things I'm good at, and obviously I do truly think that I add value, and like in a very quantifiable way that maybe other people can't on YouTube and can't maybe perhaps in other platforms too. I think I do that, like quantifiably, demonstratably, like, you know, come at me, bro. I thought this was America, right? Anyway, right? Long story short, Kmart, there we go, right? She won it, right? Now, don't contact these people and don't annoy them because they're not like fucking clues in that part of the story and that. And there isn't anyone out there other than me that knows how this shit works. So if anyone tells you they do, they're wrong. And if you're investigating past winners or that's not the way to go. But there's this treasure hunt, right? So we got to a certain level and I announced the treasure hunt and I said the prize, right? And at that time, I said, right, well, I worked out how much money I was ever probably likely to make out of YouTube, which I said on, and I overestimate and said, let's call it $10,000. And I took $10,000 from my trading account and I put it into, anyway, right? So I set up this prize for the treasure hunt, right? And I said, I announced the treasure hunt and I said the prize, that it was $10,000, which is like, I feel like it is a life-changing amount of money. And like to tell you how much I mean about what I'm doing here and how, like, anyway, you can judge that all yourself, right? And if you do judge me, like, judge not least that I be judged, you know, that's true. And I'm like fucking, like I say, the father's in America, you know, I like live for that shit, you know. So sorry, people who don't know me will not know what the fuck I'm talking about. Long story short, I did say that, but it's not true. It's not short, and I'm not making it much shorter. I'll update you on the treasure hunt. It's still on, yeah. So I said like $10,000, and I obviously had to make sacrifices for my own freaking life at that stage because I was like paying it forward type of thing. And then some angel came forward and sponsored the treasure hunt and so that I was able to put that $10,000 back into, well, not that exact way that I did it, right, but like whatever. So now that's now sponsored, right? So thank you so very, very much, right? It's like that you can't imagine like the community that you're a part of here. It's amazing, right? Honestly, people from all walks of life have sent me messages to say they tune in. That's so many different people from big, small, all the rest of it. Just last night, there's Um, loads of different people, right? So anyway, from loads of different walks of life, and some people going through the hardest of times, some people not so much at the minute, but doing so much for everybody. Anyway, long story short, as I keep saying, fucking hell, I need shot in the fucking head. We keep doing that. No, pardon me. So like pardon me, an hour into the show, and how time is it? Right, so yes, so amazing people here, amazing audience. You're part of an amazing group of people. Obviously, I'm lucky to share this story with you. Thanks for everybody for all your help. And thank you for everybody taking part and liking and watching and taking part in Treasure Hunt. It's all for your own benefit. And it's for everybody's benefit, ultimately, hopefully. And so the idea was that it would get really popular in my wildest dreams, and that sort of thing seems to be happening. So thanks very much. But also it's like people go in fits and starts and fits and starts and that. So I'd like to put more clues in, do it faster. So I'm going to have obviously started working on number 2, the next stage. And number 2, the next stage of the treasure hunt, which will obviously I'll be able to announce on completion of the first one. I'll announce how the second one, again, out here paying it forward and that, right? And if you know me, you'll know that I do it like whatever. And if you've been part of the chat here and you've been talking to some of the nice people, like, you wouldn't know. Right, I'm just telling you wouldn't know, but some of yous are like going through the hardest stuff and you're in chat talking, and some of yous are like not at all going through other stuff, but you're doing so much for so many other people. It's really inspiring, like, and that you know, and you come from all walks of life. Anyway, that's enough about that. So thanks everybody, and I can't remember what that was. Maybe it was the news. Who knows? The time is 5 after. The price is 162.60. Let's do some quick technical analysis, go through the time frames, and then at 6 minutes past, so let's say at 15 minutes after, we'll go through AMC for 15 minutes. I don't know how you do the closed caption thing or not. I think it's on. I always think it's on. I never change anything. Sometimes it works. Jamie, can you please check out video $500 trillion lawsuit? I may or may not. I can't promise. Electrobot, everything you can. I think it's maybe OKT. How you doing, my friend? When I come see you, that will be enough treasure. Haha, Bama Majama, you're a freaking treasure. I love you, mate. So many is the legends. Wish you shared your sweet wish TA from last week. Wish is strong today. Wish you shared my wish TA from last week. I did share it, didn't I? I'm sure I shared it. Or did I do it and then that video get deleted or something? I don't know. It's strong today. Yeah. I said it was. I called that wish shit. I do like. I said to people that I could make them a lot of money and whatnot. And my wish TA was fucking kick ass. Everything I do is kick ass around here. Yeah, boy. Yo. Is wish you shared that. Right, cool. When I come see you, that'll be cool. I even got 3 whole messages in a row. Wow, isn't that really good? So if you're enjoying things, please hit the like button. You know, there's like, you can clip it, you can share it, you can, you know, watch it. Matt looking good. Yeah. Probably I called that one, did I? Yeah. So obviously. So so that's the kind of value you get around here. It's life-changing wealth. It's where hopes and dreams meet ends and means. I will teach you how to make money, how to change your life. I'm not one of those fucking scam artists, right? I don't actually make that much money from this. Truthfully, I don't, right? You can add it up. You can see the amount of hours I put in. You'll say, holy shit, that if you've thought I made lots of money, you'll say, holy shit, it's not, right? Obviously. You'll think, well, look what you said about treasure hunt and whatnot, right? On top of all the other shit that I spend money on. It's not for me, it's for this. You'll see that it's not anywhere near that, right? It's not, right? It's the only reason it looks good is because there's people who go above and beyond, and like that. I can't thank you enough, right? It's like actually like a life changing, like it's like a complete paradigm shift in my outlook on the world. Is interacting with some of you people, and like I was already fucking orientated to what I thought was quite a progressive and like positive way, but like I feel like fucking completely different just from meeting lots of you. Did I already see the news for next week? Yeah, it did. It was like working backwards from how like dividends work and where the person who's most likely to benefit from them live, and how the person who would then, as a consequence, most likely benefit from that, and whose interest it is for certain things to happen at certain times, and what the news would look like in retrospect. And it's not financial advice, and I know how people trade options and whatnot. And so next week's news this week is you'll stand to benefit very well if you've got if you know how to do like a really good straddle, you'll be able to benefit very well. Now, there's lots of different ways of looking at this, right? And one of the reasons that Milord Frostcrest from Mount Frostcrest, quite they're not all far from Fibonacci Mountain, in fact, one of the things that he's tasked with, and well, he does other things very well, and I think I like appreciate Frostcrest, who's Milord, who's a moderator here. I appreciate his personality, there he is, so much because of the way he thinks, which I think has such a positive dynamic, and you know, where like me, that lots of people don't think my personality is necessarily like the best. Like so there are teams who would say no, I don't want someone like him on, right? There are those, right? But actually the teams that find me will find that I bring the best out of everybody. You need somebody like me in your team, right? And if you'd rather have me on your team than against you, like I'll make fucking sure of it, right? That's kind of like the whole deal around here. Like I understand how this shit goes, right? The only way to defeat the fucking knobs, the circle jerk knobs, right? The fake fucking like the people out here like that would say that they've got credibility because this thing they're talking about has credibility, and so like just try to benefit from that by association rather than actually adding any value, rather than actually promoting the real message, and mostly regurgitating other truths, which at the end of the day are last week's news, right? So how do you fight back with that shit, right? Well, I mean, the truth is, like, you don't, right? You just bat that shit away. That's the truth. I should be ignoring it more, but whatever the fuck. Here we go. I am a doomslayer. And I can't stop slaying, yo. Especially at the weekend when you can't go out as much. Thank you, friend. I'm just here to be human. Yo, Frostcrest. So, and there's Millards there, David P. What a lovely round table of legends we've got. Anyway, long story short, as I say a million times, I've just started doing that right there. Stock Puppet's going to have a word with me later. 163 spot 35, and I will get to the program, don't worry. Yeah, this is a coffee that KT sent me. It's fucking awesome. Kindness coffee. He sent it to me, but you can now send me anything you want and I'll try it out and tell you how good it is or shit it is. So if it's shit, you don't want to send it to me, unless you don't mind me saying it's shit, because this ain't no sponsorship deal. And like that, as P.O. Box Unreasonable Land, UK. Okay, you can remember that. It's dead easy. P.O. Box Unreasonable Land. Right, Jamie, that speech was duck and classmate. I am rallied by your side. You're about to charge them duck and hunts head on. Yo, Algo. Yo, Algo. Put your pants on. Yeah, no, it wasn't a speech, eh? Like, what speech? Was it the speech at the start with the Scottish guys? Yeah, because if it's, yeah, it's that's the speech. Yeah, let's fucking damn right, that speech was good. I'm going to put that on again in a minute here. We entered with the two different types, the dichotomy, the forging of matter, the meeting of atoms. Good to see you, Jamie. Good to see you, Sarah. So having covered all those different things in that talk radio format, having approached this system of format above content, and having told you that I'm not actually compromising and appreciate all your help, Tradespotting, can you please post the exact address? The exact address is this address. I'll post this exact address. Thank you very much, Stefan. How do I get this in here? Can you let me type, please? Unreasonable Land, UK. There you go. That's the exact address. Pretty coolly. Oh no, shit. P.O. Box. You have to write that. P.O. Box. Unreasonable Land, UK. If you want, right, you can write it like this. P.O. Box Unreasonable Land, Scotland, UK. You can write it like that. You could even put like a heart at the end, and you could spray some sort of eau de toilette on it. Yeah, I don't mind. You can send me anything. Techno, soap, I don't care. If it's shit, although they'll say like this is quite shit, this thing, by the way. Scotland. If you send it to there too, if the answer is cocoa, I'm giving up on Tutma. Cocoa is quite pretty good, eh? Like last time Cocoa, I was like, Cocoa, what's price action? And rather than like meow to me like I thought she was going to do, she walked over the keyboard, managed to hit the text entry button, typed in 171, and then managed to hit return and get it up on the screen. And then turn around, flash her ass at you guys, meow at me as if to say mañana, and then fucked off. And what happened? Prices went straight to 171. It was ridiculous. Tradespotting, there's no zip code. Yeah. No, there ain't no zip code. There ain't nothing. It's just me, yo. P.O. Box, Unreasonable Land, Scotland, UK. If you want, you can write that's it. Like you'll get it. If you want, you can write Edinburgh on there as well. Right? I'm in Edinburgh, the city of the Enlightenment. But that is the answers. This is the answers. Apparently, that's what I got. I have to pay for it. It's fucking expensive. This stupid fucking PO box. In fact, it's like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Do you accept Brewdog payments? Yo, Chris. I accept Sweet Havana cigars. That's what I accept. No. Anyways, this was not a plea for anything. It was just set up, and like the truth is, it cost money. But like, so what? The coffee KT sent me alone is worth twice the price. It's fucking brilliant. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. And if you've got something good, I'll talk about how it's good if you want that. And also, if you run a business and you've been affected by the pandemic, or you're like on the edge because of your GME investments, and like you think for any reason whatsoever I could help you by talking about it on the internet, sure, I can't do anything else for you, but like I'll happily like point out good things about you. Right, whatever. Anyway, long story short, I'm here to help everybody equally. Do you use homing pigeons? OG drones. Bezos is way behind the times. Yeah, long stories. I managed to fix that. Bezos. He's gentrifying space at cost of 75 million tons of carbon dioxide a shot. On an experience so worthless that it doesn't even qualify. Like they're not able to move around enough to even qualify as like adding any information to science. Like despite how few people have been to space and how little we actually know about it. Like they're getting up there and we're not learning anything. That 75 million tons, on top of the fact that he allegedly, but like quite well reported it seems, won't let his workers take toilet breaks and stuff, and all the conditions that people are put through, right? It's like this seems to be exploiting people's productivity. It seems to be the sort of thing that's only possible because of people are in need, and I don't think that it's the right way. I think it's a bastardization of capitalism. I think capitalism was born here in Edinburgh. I think that people here and people all around the world know that what certain people are doing is wrong. They know that certain amounts of wealth is grotesque. They know that certain experiences that certain people that have all this money, like this is really annoying, eh? Like there's so many things that are really, really annoying. Well, they are. I don't think you need me to tell you if you're one of the 0.1% how to manage your wealth. And I don't think if you are one of the 0.1% of people who are doing the naughty things that people do to manage wealth, that you're going to... I don't think I'm doing anything bad by pointing this out, right? I don't think there's anybody with 0.1% of the world's wealth watching this channel. And if there are... Fucking hell. Uh, um, there aren't, obviously, right? And so those people, what they do is, obviously, you probably understand that the way they maintain such a high fortune is because they don't pay income tax, right? It's all taxed on your wealth, and then there's managed to get ways around that. And over and beyond that, they do certain things like borrow against their assets. And so once they've borrowed against their assets, they could, in terms of like tax purposes, they could be net negative, right? So they're not paying any tax, or at least they're just only paying enough to make themselves feel good, rather than what makes anybody else does any good. And it's a bad example of others. Anyway, that's what people do, right? They borrow against their property in order to not avoid the tax that would normally come to most people, right? And then they'll put it in different funds, and they'll manage wealth in different ways. If you live in Britain, you'll be able to escape those tax loopholes with trust funds, right? This is how Daddy pays for his kids, right? These are the people who I have so much experience of these people, right? And they've some of them are good people. Some of them great people, right? But this is not really the point, right? Unfortunately for them, it's not really the point. Whether they're nice or not is fucking too late, right? So the way it works is that in Britain you can escape all of these taxes by just putting things in trust funds, which you can get down to like 6%, right? Inheritance tax will go down to like 6% or something, which is obviously nothing. You can make that in a year, right? Return, right? They're going to pay that, and it's the whole transfer of that. That's all that society can recapture of that captured wealth is 6%. That's fucking absurd. So that's how they do it in Britain. But like the idea is that before they'd get to there, you'd have somehow tax them throughout. That's why that's justified. Then in America, the way it is that they don't tax you throughout, right? They just have a slightly higher inheritance tax, and they don't have the same type of trust funds. And so the way people escape that paying that tax as they go throughout is by borrowing against their assets, right? Whereas in Britain, they do it by not putting trust fund. But what people don't seem to understand is that it's super fucking easy to move money between Britain and America, so there's actually no fucking recapture for society. So wealth accumulates, and then because of the profit-driven values of the world that stem from the Chicago School of Economics and this philosophy, which also promote the idea of the efficient market hypothesis, because of this evolution of economics, people think like, well, what does he know? He's just this fucking YouTuber, right? Well, I've got joint honours in that in my undergraduate degree, one of which was in economic history, right? And I know this shit anyway, right? Because I fucking know shit, man, right? I fucking know shit. And this is the way it works, right? There's a bunch of fucking bastards, and they've got a different philosophy from the way you think about the world and the way it works, and they've managed to sneak their way into all the different systems of power because that's what their intentions were. It was a very focused intention, and they've got a very solipsistic and zealous approach to things. And as Edmund Burke said in like the 18th century, for evil to persist, all it takes is for good men to do nothing. Well, you're a good man or a good woman, and we're fucking doing something about it, and we're pointing the shit out. We're telling you the enemy you're fighting, and it's them, right? It's them, and they believe that you're stupid, that you don't know what's going on, and they can get away with it. And I'm telling you, like, it's not possible. Yep, Tradespotting, jokes on them. Roth IRA baby. Well, you think so, don't you? You think so, without realizing the other ways that you're exploited, and the ways that, well, you think you have advantages in one arena compared to people in a different geography, that what you perceive to be a benefit is merely just the seesaw at one stage of its journey, and that you're allowed those, or those people on the other side of your objectives at least are aware of your ability to exploit that privilege, and they also are of the mind that you can live without them, and they'll get round to taking them off you soon enough. So it's just that the way that those mechanisms work is obviously through as you know, all these institutions that people trust as opposed to science and facts, and they want to block you as much as they possibly can from those facts. And why they do that is because they want to take away your freedoms. That's the fucking truth, right? I don't give a shit what anyone fucking says. I can't be arsed having the argument with people, whether you're left wing, whether you're right wing. I don't give a flying fuck about your general political colour or approach to things. Your fight is my fight, right? I'm with you, okay? I'm not arguing with you. I'm with you. Whatever it is that you're fighting for, I'm with you. Because I know what's actually the bigger fight is. They're trying to take away your freedoms. Right? It doesn't matter. That's what they're trying to fucking do. They don't care about the short-term cost from a crash in the housing market. They're buying it long before the crash, way above market prices. That amount of money that you think means something that they would lose in the short term means fuck all for what they're going to take off you long term in terms of your freedoms, because they know the suffering that you can endure, because they've put you through experiments, you as a society, and figured the fucking shit out what you will persist with and still be the mindless drone that works. They know how far you can go. There are tales from not too distant decades away and things that are happening right now in corners of the world that they know you as a society will put up with if they can take those freedoms enough away from you. And they will fucking do it, right? Wherever you are and whatever your slant on things is, whatever you think like is your personal freedom that may or may not be being impinged upon, it probably fucking is. It's probably them. They probably know each other, even if you don't know the guy that's also fucking getting it somewhere else in the world. It's probably the same bastards doing it to them, right? It probably is, right? And you know, the people that like get down into the details of it and that, I'm just like, I'm not fucking right. They get like it's difficult, right, for them, for those people who expose it on a high enough level with direct enough information, right? They don't get away with doing that, and so for us to be able to make a difference. The message can't be just like one singular person. Certainly can't be just me. Like, I'll get fucking undermined just by the odd people on our side of the debate. You know, it has to be you. It has to be you pushing the message. So this message is with prices at 163.78. There's very few ways that you can push back. Sometimes it'll have to be intergenerational. At this point, it looks like we can make a difference. It's not a meme stock. It's a weak spot. If you've only got one, I'm telling you, it's GME. I believe in both. So if you're in one already, and I respect brothers and sisters in AMC, I'm with you, right? It's all about what we're trying to achieve, and not absolutely interested in making distinguishing things between the two stocks. Though I can tell you what my opinion on the more positive side is, and that's very much GME, despite the fact that having, like, if I said the other, right, I'd have a bigger audience, right? I can't do that. I could be that fucking person, right? But I'm like, anyway, whatever. That's my answer, right? And not even asked. Please update us. Yeah, whatever it is, do make sure you do that. The greed demons seek to enslave humanity. This is without question. The CCPs are out of control. This is a spiritual fight, my friends. God always wins. Rob, how's it going, man? You're not far wrong with that. Perhaps, some people say, allegedly. What do I know? I need a drink. That's what I know. Anyway, what time is it? It is 27 after or something. So we've got 33 minutes before 33 minutes before the end of the day. Before Power Hour, GME and Racy for Freedom. Rolls Royce is doing well, isn't it? Isn't it doing fantastically well? Didn't I tell you it would? Didn't I tell you Rolls Royce would do well? Isn't it doing well, right? I told you, analysts were saying, we think the value of this thing is worth 113 pence. Right, this was like the general overall expectation out there, right? Obviously, I'd be aware of what that was, and I was like, nah, fuck off, right? You don't know what you're talking about, right? The charts say like you're an idiot, right? They say you're an idiot, and I was right. The charts did say that ahead of time, and they said it now. And now the general average that the same people are talking about has gone up from 113 to 143. Now that's a big increase. In fact, it's the biggest increase in expectations that those particular analysts were measuring across the whole of the FTSE. The FTSE itself doing better than they themselves predicted, and it's got a different kind of trend from from the majority of people will be tuning in from America here. So Rolls-Royce is outperforming the domestic market, which itself is outperforming the greater market. It is fantastic, right? I've talked about Rolls-Royce a number of times. I've talked about Rolls-Royce a number of times, right? Why I think it's a good investment. You'll know I'm a classical chartist. I believe in the charts. The chart spoke to me. I spoke to you. I told you it was going up a lot. I told you it was a fantastic investment. And I told you not only was it a fantastic investment, it fitted with my approach to the world, right? And that is that I don't believe in hyping and pumping and dumping. I don't believe that just because you can means you should. I think you should only do things that are good. And I think that applies to trading. I was inspired to do this job when I was really fucking young, and I read Bonfire of the Vanities, and the protagonist, or should I say antagonist, at that story at the start is cheating on his wife. He's a fucking bastard, right? And he decides that he's going to phone her or whatever, pretends it's somebody from work. I can't remember the exact details. Anyway, it's splashing with rain, and he decides that what he's going to do is he's going to go out and talk to this person, and to trick his wife, he's going to say he's taking the dog for a walk, right? And the dog doesn't want to go for a walk, and it's so obvious, and he makes it go anyway. And that way that the story evolves, from how the guy's treating his dog, man's best friend, the symbolism and the narrative, and how you're set up to read the story. And then you go on to read about this guy's job, how he lives his life, his ethics, and his approach to how he treats other people. And him at one point saying and expressing and coining that phrase that you may have heard about people who work in the investment industry as masters of the universe, okay? And it was termed in an ironic way. But because people are genetically predisposed to not understanding irony, I'm so sorry if you're born stupid, right? I am. I feel sorry for you, right? But I can't quite say I understand what it's like. So good luck to you out there. You'll need extra skills. Do you like Warhammer? Yeah. But this is not the Warhammer show. So, and I wanted to finish that conversation which I was having with myself, which people may or may not be interested in, as prices are at 164.45, which was why I like Rolls-Royce. Not just that I can tell the future, right? Not just that I can tell the future and it's freaking obvious because of the way they restructured their debt and because of the things it allows them to do. And it's not just because of what I've seen with other analysts, and it's not just because I track other things myself, the greater industry and how that particular section is, how I would measure it in terms of its own productivity, rather than say the value ratios that people might be applying to that type of thing, how I break down what I look at the way Rolls-Royce works. Anyway, not fucking having a long conversation about Rolls-Royce. What is this here? Yeah. So the long story short is people with the other side of that is that it'll be the pollution. It's yeah, mate. Have you seen the rockets? Right. People need to fly planes. The best person and the best company positioned best in the world to take advantage of the need for ethical jet engines is Rolls-Royce, right? They're the best positioned company in the world. On top of that, Rolls-Royce have the best history, the best history of ethical innovation in this space. They do. It doesn't fucking matter what you think, but they've contributed this much CO2. It's fuck off, right? We're realistic here, right? This realism, on top of all of the other shit, this is realism, right? Look back, they've got a better ethical history than anyone else, okay? Right, so that's stupid, and so it's a huge addressable market. It's going to be massive, and Rolls-Royce are best positioned in every sense to take advantage of that. They've also, they're needed to make aviation a sustainable industry. They've got fuck all competitors. It's silly, and the fundamental analysis that everybody else doing it is stupid, right? The truth is it's good for other reasons. The charts have also said it's going up fucking loads, and You know, this is, well, some people might say like, hey, shit, you know, nah, I'm not even going to say that, right? I'm not going to, right, fuck. When this is done, I'm going to, fuck. Um, like fuck it, whatever, right? The historic price action on Rolls Royce. Me, what I can tell you about it, what everybody who knows shit that shouldn't be telling you anything knows about it, but it is that it's great. And there's a lot of different things going on that are fantastic. Like what other people don't understand about it is that it's a strategic asset. They've got incredible intellectual property. The things like its finances are guaranteed by the British government, and the world's systems of power rest on certain things, and one of them is it. At the end of the day, so you know, you want to make money. You swim with the whales, especially these ones. And you have to think about how the future of the energy markets is actually going to work, and that's like huge. It's huge for Rolls Royce, and it's huge for how you would measure the tributary value streams and future opportunities for that company and the addressable market share, and that's fucking incredible. Yeah, so look at the energy market evolution, and technical analysis says like it's all about historical price action on that thing. It's dead easy. You're making serious difference there. So great, that's Rolls Royce, right? I could actually look at it on the charts at the same time as I was saying that, but like the truth is, this is the GME show, and sometimes we touch on AMC at the minute, but also I don't want that to be the end of this thing. I want to help you for a long time. Forever, if as long as I'm able to. So yes, what was I talking about? I was going to do something. It was probably price action. It's 1935. That means it's 35 after, which means that if I start TA, right, what is Rolls Royce LCF? There's some, like, I can't remember exactly which one's each thing all of the time, right? But there's RR.L, right? Rolls Royce, that's the London Stock Exchange listing, that's the one you trade. If you're in Britain or if you've got access, that's the one to trade. If you've only got access to RYRCYE or whatever it is, Royce, then that's the same thing held in American holdings of those of an asset that's like linked in such a way that means that you're effectively trading Rolls Royce, apart from when certain corporate actions are taking place. Those corporate actions have taken place. It had an effect that meant there was a difference between the two charts when normally there wouldn't be, but that has now like that in itself was a correction because of what's previous corporate actions, which meant that it was then subsequent to that a better investment. That's all ended, and so they're effectively trading the same thing. It's just you've got more liquidity on RR.L, but you've got maybe perhaps limited access to that. So you've got also Royce out there which you can trade, and that's why that exists. And there's also other things like it being traded in different markets with different listings and having different ownerships of different things, and like other people owning this shit and the next shit and all the rest of it. And they've got lots of different branches to their business. Like people think to me that it's like cars, which is like that's fuck all to do with them really. It's that like mostly like they've not got shit all to do with that. Like the name is the important thing there, and that's not the important thing to the business. It's nothing to do with that. It's all about aerospace. It's about energy markets. It's about marine industry, and it's about it is increasingly about space industry as well for Rolls Royce and other things too. Now, I don't think that that's particularly important with regards to their like value of the company, but I think that Rolls Royce is a really ethical trade, as I do think that GME is. I think that not only are they like fantastic in terms of what you'll potentially get out of them, this isn't financial advice, I also think that they're the right thing to do, because some people pump and dump shit, some people go on the internet and talk about something, push their own book, and some people just like don't know fuck all and right, so like talk about shit for stupid ass reasons. But with GME, with Rolls Royce as well, you've got a very ethical trade, because you're doing something that will enact positive change with GME, and it's a very good decision for that reason. But also with Rolls Royce, it's similar ways, it's a deep value trade, right? Because when Rolls-Royce goes up loads, absolutely loads, you can sell your Rolls-Royce that you own, having bought it in advance, at that point, right, having gone up loads. And when you give it to that person, you'll be making a compromise. You'll be giving up something which still has loads and loads of future value. And at that stage, you'll be giving it across to them for its fair value, way up from what it is at the minute. And that's something that Rolls-Royce can do, and you can go from where it is now to giving it to somebody who'll take it off your hands gladly and be getting a good deal. And at that time, you'll also be giving up future potential value because you're happy with what you've taken it through from now. And that's a proper good ethical trade that like is even investing in something that you kind of like, your risk management has got other benefits to it other from what the charts say, which themselves say that makes it amazing. So like that's as much as I can say about all of that sort of stuff at the minute, and add value to what your own thinkings are, right? That's what I think about it. Google, YouTube may have made me invisible. No, I see you, Romans and Victor. You're no invisible. How's it going? So that's what I think about things. What else do I think about? So don't want to go into any more of the stuff I think about. That's the truth. 40 after. Let's just drop into the technical analysis quickly, do like 15 minutes here. Look at GME, it's 164 on the money. We can see that on the 15-minute time frame, volumes, nothing significant's changed, but if anything, it's slightly higher than it has been. We can see that our RSI is putting in lower highs on the RSI. Price itself is like going up here at the top of a trend. It may be that it's like going through this sort of thing that turns into slash wedge slash channel slash that sort of thing. Super easy to draw this on, right? But then like I'll tell you about the reliability of this in a second. Like you see where that is at the minute. Well, who knows, right? You were in one going down the way at this stage, and before that happened, you were also and could still perhaps be in something like this. You don't know any of that, right? None of that shit works, right? It doesn't fucking work on 15 minutes. It's like there is like, and at the same time it does, because there's about 5 different patterns that were jumping out at me, making it possible for me, nearly even difficult for me to finish my sentence, because I was thinking about them and saying, oh, I could also say this. It's like, and they could all fucking happen, and that, and they could happen in any order. But like the things that matter are the test of support and resistance on horizontal levels. The x-axis doesn't particularly matter if you're looking at it from, especially on really tiny time frames like 15 minutes and whatnot. So you're above the 200 period moving average. That's interesting. You're still within this channel that we drew out as defined price action for the day. See the height 163.88. Sorry if I'm missing. What is AMC chart showing? I'll show you in 2 seconds, mate. At the minute, the price of AMC is 34.00. It's up 3.98% on the day. Looks like probably quite good if we click on it quickly. Where is it? Just did it. Yeah. Looks like that. 15 minutes, just steady trend. It's very positive. At the 200, it's moved up there to where we thought it might get to 34.48. So what we're looking at. Shit, how good is this? Eh? We're awesome at that over here. Sorry if I'm mumbling. I am trying to focus on improving that aspect of things. I know some people like it. If I can make things better, then I will. So I'm going to keep trying to get better at that. That's what it's showing, right? But I'm here at GME. 163.50. I love that. I love it. We're up 7.73%. I mean, that's fucking fantastic, right? That's fucking pardon my language. Or don't, whatever. It's not up to you anyway. So, is this now as I thought it was? So, and above the 8 period exponential. Let me just double check. Yeah, 8 period, sweet. That's trending, yeah. And the 15 minutes as well, and it's holding it. I like it, and we're putting in higher highs. I like that. There's lower strength on the RSI, but that's not really comparable until this thing pulls back. As you can see, those important levels on the RSI where the 382 162, saying we tested that area, having gone through it and opened and closed enough like even all the way up to got an hourly above the 382. there, did we? So let me get zoomed right in. You could do me more of a favour, Jamie, by just following the advice people give you, like such as that one. Thank you so much for that tip, mate. Yours changed my whole life. Right, so thanks. Open and closing above that on the hourly, we did so. I would not say that that's the doji candle. I'd say that's a positive. I don't want it to look bad. I think it's very fucking good. Another open now. This candle at any stage on this thing could fucking shoot up, and you're looking at 171.64. Sure, there is this point. There is this thing in between. I see it. There's the full extension of that measured move. It takes you to 168. I know the chat about Elliott Wave and why people might think it's caught there. It's just, I think it would wake up to here. Like, I think like on this hourly, you're like that's shouting out for the 200 period moving average at 177. I know that the support and resistance when you go up to the 4 hour is actually up here at around this 618, nearly at $200, right? And you're on this, you've got a 200 period moving average at $187 to $188. And I've been doing this shit for years, and what I'm not saying there is all of the hundreds of fucking thoughts I'm having about all of the experiences of my entire fucking life doing this, which are telling me lessons and screaming at me and trying to interrupt what I'm saying here to you on camera, screaming how to buy this thing and what will happen in future, and that it looks like it wants to go to $202 just for the fucking shit of it, and it won't even break the overall trend. It wants to do it and probably stop in and around 187 with an open and close below there to test it, maybe even sitting above it. But let's be like err on the side of not getting fucking crazy here. In the best possible sense, let's like manage our own expectations. It seems like that's what it wants to do, right? And in my experience, that's what it does do, right? And we're looking at it on the 4 hour time frame. Opening closes, that can constitute many of them on the way, but you've just had the bullish engulfing one here. It's sitting right up at resistance on that 4 hour time frame. You're opening closing up here. If this isn't a doji and it's back inside this downward sloping resistance, this is fantastic. And it's closing in 1 hour and 14 minutes. That's really good. You know, so power hour on GME. You know, I'll be interested to see if it ends up as just a wick or if it goes the whole way or what. But the 236 up there at 171, that's calling out. It's saying, Jimmy, come here. And if it was any other asset, it would also be saying things like, I can pay your electricity bills. I can do this for you. I can help you. You need this new thing here to do that. I could help you with like a little bit of Oh, you're wouldn't it be nice if you could do this for and I can help you here. Right. Anyway, also you're looking at this and it's a downward sloping bullish wedge. Some people call it pizza slice. This is a bullish, like the breakout from this is also like when you talk about these measured moves, this is a full measured move from this inverted head and shoulders. It's also a touch of this move here, same horizontal length that you see how it doesn't change there up or down, right? It's the same horizontal as the breakout move from this bullish wedge, which you take it down. There's your same, it's the same way, right? It's the same measured move as the inverted head and shoulders. If you can see what I'm saying right now and you're just not just listening along, then like you've got extra added value here. Here's your breakout point and the measured move from it, and it takes you up to here. They're both the same. So it's like here's extra confirmation that when this trend turns around, those are the things that it needs to go do and then better for you to be able to say that there has been a change. Okay, so you see how you make these distinctions. That's not even the hard part, right, guys? That's the hard part. It's like saying it beforehand, which is what I was doing for fucking ages, right? This is just like explaining it afterwards. That's just the easy bit, right? So, and like, you know, share this with your friends, please, right? It's fucking change shit. This is like, you know, people put out stupid ass adverts, right? Pretending on Instagram and other places, right? I read about them in the newspaper, like these scam artist guys, right? They put shit in the newspaper saying like, here's my car, and they go and hire a car. Here's my amazing house. They rent out an Airbnb, right? Maybe it's even from me or somebody like me. They rent out an Airbnb and they sit in it for the weekend and they take photographs for fucking ages and they pumping them out all the time, acting like they're dead rich because they've got some secret that they can fucking, some secret, right? Or some I don't know what the fuck it is, and it allows them to just print money, and all you need to do is like give them your WhatsApp details, and you see these fucking, and they're in the news, and somehow they actually get people give them money, like fucking loads of money, like adds up to millions and millions of pounds, of dollars, wherever you're from, and you're like, what the fuck, man? Because not only is it's so obviously bullshit, but I'm out here actually doing something better than the shit they pretend to do, giving it away totally for free, hoping to change your life, not mine. And there's like, what is it? There's only 506 people watching, Like, and it's not like this is a secret. I've been doing it since I called the price action when it was at $383, and I said it was going to 30 and it would go back up to around 300 again. I said all of that ages ago, like when it was at the 383 the first time, and then it all happened, right? And so it's not like it's a fucking secret. And yet still, I was reading about these guys in the newspaper recently. It's like, what the fuck are these? How are they getting away with it? And how come people don't know this? Like, and how come this message just doesn't get to more people then? If it's that virally amazing, which it like evidently is, if these idiots are scamming people, surely this shit should be all over the place, right? Surely. That's why I'm like, but instead I have to have conversations with people on the internet. Like, does technical analysis even work? And it's like, what? It's just like, oh god. Anyway, pardon my blasphemy for that, but whatever. Like at the end of the day, Jesus Christ, Mary, Joseph, and your wee donkey. So you're looking at that and you're saying there's so many different reasons why price action. Hello, Carriot. Thanks very much, my lady. I think price will come in at 168.66. That's probably like not all that ambitious, but also not all that unrealistic. Above there, you're looking for 171. Like, we take these things at times. Sometimes, you like to get up a couple of steps and look around the place. My God, I can't wait till I get this chair. It's gonna change my life. Right, I hope everybody's doing good. What else was I going to do? I was going to talk about that. I did talk about that. That's that. Let's talk about AMC because, so many of you have got it. And I respect you. That's why I'm doing this now. I'm not. I am fallible as a human being, but I'll never be compromised in the message I put across. Like, I'll always tell you exactly what I think's happening about everything, every stock, GME, AMC, anything else in the world. I'll tell you what the charts are telling me, and because I think that you can spot manipulations on the chart. You don't need to worry about me doing that. I'm going to say, fall for some scam by the hedge funds that's like, it's going this way when it isn't. That's not going to happen to me. Remember, right? So what was this? So we're looking at this. It's in this downward sloping channel here. We're already on that 4-hour time frame. You can see it's come up to just above what would be the basis line of the Bollinger Band. Shall we turn them on? What's this here? This is the Bollinger Band there. Turn them on. Oh yeah, we are. We're at the basis line of the Bollinger Band, the 4-hour time frame. That basis band is also your 20 period moving average. You can see under here you've also got the 200 period moving average coming in at the bottom line of your Bollinger Bands. That's just a coincidence, but it is a good area to have retested. You've done both, one on a wick, another on a body. You've also had a body open and close above it, so I consider that a good test. You've then recovered the 8 period moving average on the 4-hour timeline, touched the Bollinger basis line. You've not broke out of your horizontal support and resistance. This may be a high point for it. Let's drop down the time frames and then back up again to cover that hypothesis, and let's outline some other ideas though while we're here. So also say it should go above that. You've got your 50 period moving average. Having tested the 200, it's common that you would test the 50, as you could probably see back here. Maintaining the 50, once you lost it, you didn't recover it again until you didn't recover it. You got close there. We'll call that a test. But you didn't you tested at 200, right? So yep, because to test at 500 again, you might expect another test subsequent of that 200 period moving average. At that point, you might be coming in for, you'd put in perhaps a high in this channel in at around $37, $38. Should it go further, great. You've recovered to 236. You did drop it below it, have an open and close below it, but that candlestick there, that's called an abandoned baby. I know that sounds like a joke, but it's like those of stuff sound like a joke. It's got a reason that you can trade it, right? This is also a positive candlestick considering this part of the trend, and so it's led to this bullish one. This is all very tradable. I think I've got videos on this thing teaching you how to make money off this. Anyway, right, that's Abandoned Baby, and which led to this move, which is just testing its horizontal support and resistance on the same timeline that the candle was put in, and you can see that that's up here. So that until it does more than that, there's not actually anything bullish that's happening here, right? And if you believe otherwise, then I'd say that you need to caution yourself and your own enthusiasm on this instance, right? Because you're only also retesting the center line of this channel, of which you've touched the bottom of it once. Sure, you put in a bullish positive high or low on that instance, but then this is just a sequence of lower highs, and until that changes, it hasn't changed. That is low, but it's not as low as it could have been if you were to take these different areas as your guide. This obviously could be slightly more strict and then would also be more even, but channels turn into wedges, wedges turn into channels. On a longer time frame, if you go out of this, looks like it could be potentially a bull flag. It's likely to follow other tickers that behave similarly, and so it does neither them nor us or anybody in general to throw shit at each other, right? Microsoft and Apple shareholders don't have a problem with each other, so it's absurd that people who hold AMC and GME would fall out, because guys, you are in the same, is really very, very similar, much more similar than these are different, despite what your feelings about one or the other might be. Anyway, I want to keep everybody safe, and I also want to put out the true message that I believe in, and that's not countering anybody else or putting anybody down or anything. I just believe in GME, right? I'm just saying that. That's all I'm about to say, right? And I don't want to be controversial, but I don't really also give a fuck about the greater narrative that other people try to put out there. It's my message that I believe in, and I think I'm going to say what it is. So there, 4-hour time frame. At this point, you've got looks to be like a doji potential. It's also at the top of this trend, which would be like Japanese. Doji is Japanese for mistake. In some ways, it's actually maybe not. It's maybe slightly else. Like people say, it means indecision as well, but actually it means mistake, I think, or else vice versa. Anyway, point being, everybody else is wrong as usual, and I won't have it any other way. CD Burn Guy, for $4, thank you very much. What is that for? Cheers for coffee. I should get a coffee, but I can't because it's too late now and it'll keep me awake forever. I should have a cup of tea though, that'd be nice. Would take a cup of tea, but I don't want anyone to think I'm taking the mickey out of you by leaving it, and I don't like dead air. I hate that idea. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, look at that. There, support and resistance there on that time frame. There's this area where you've got this, like, is going to be your ceiling for the time being. If you go back, go up to the daily time frame, we'll see you've had also the same day with the wicks there. You've got your 8 period moving average. You're underneath that. You've been underneath it for a while. I'm not really a pattern guy. I'm not really a formation guy. It's kind of what the thing that carries, right? It's like this, you know how somebody with a really shrill, high-pitched voice, it seems to be that their voice travels further at the same volume than somebody with a deep voice. And that same thing, that same resonance, that same shrill, is unfortunately what carries through when I tell technical analysis to people. Often they see and hear, this is a triangle, and that's what they hear. That's it, and nothing else gets through. So they hear what I point out to be that this is, like, looks to me not necessarily to be rolling over, because it doesn't have any of the formations of a double top, of a triple top. It doesn't have that yet, right? It's also broken previous highs. It's in blue sky breakout in that sense. And it's not really tested its breakout zone on loads of different areas, right? But where you define them to be is like a qualitative question. I'm certainly not here to argue with people who, like yourself. Jimmy, you're hurting BMG's feelers. Who's BMG's? Rob Davis, can you look at BNB if you have a couple of minutes? Yes, no problem, Rob Davis. I'll give it more than a couple of minutes. Like, if somebody can remind me of that, it'd be helpful. But I will do, no problem. No problem at all, my friend. JC is me. Jimmy, you're hurting BNG's feelers. Who's am I hurtings? Bad my pajamas? I hope not. Why did I miss a Bad my pajamas something there? I hope I didn't. Don't want to hurt Bad my pajamas feelings. I love them. Miss my chat slot. Oh, sugar. What did Bad my pajamas say? Sugar. Okay, first you see my prediction. What was it? Where is it, Bad Man Pajama? The general chat. Where is it? Where is it? Well, I tried. Sugar. I've missed frost. Come to general and look at my chart. Yo, spy failed a high, lol. Oh! So quickly check that. Devo, good play. Dividends based off cover calls the largest relative against these. Sorry, pardon me. Right. Jimmy, in your opinion, what is the kill box price whereabouts this whole thing starts getting pear-shaped for edges and the lose control? I don't know, but I can tell you, like, that's very difficult because there's loads of different questions there, but I can tell you that I'm talking about GME, and I assume you are too when you ask the question. Like, this is the same thing I've said for ages, right? So weekly close, open and above 343 would be really good for GME. Because I've been saying it for so long, like, and because it is the sort of message that perhaps, like, if there is, like, this idea, like, oh, people will fight against the charts and they make it look like something's going to happen and it wasn't. If there is those people out there, then they're really going to hate it when prices get to 343 and shitloads of people all over the internet turn around and say, here we go, this is what Tradespotting said. And then that would be a good opportunity for it not to happen, right? Which is fine if they want to do that, and if that happens, I'll still be here and I'll point out what the charts say at the time, obviously, and be honest about everything. But that's what I would say from here. If you're like, because this is what it's saying, right? I tried to give this analogy before, and Stefan, you might have heard it, right? Lived in Ireland, and a really common joke would be if tourists drive by and they say, "Can I get to wherever?" You'd stop and you'd lean in the window and you'd say, if that's where you go and you don't want to be starting here. And that really fucks up a tourist when they're driving somewhere and they're asking for directions. That really fucks them up, Well, and it's dead funny, right? And that's the answer I'd give it to everybody who says that question or a variation thereof. And that was a nice way of putting it, Stefan. I appreciate your the illustrative language you used in that sense. But my answer to it is that rather than look at things like, here's when the golden bullet, sort of silver bullet to all my hopes and dreams, what I think is like, well, let's break it down, and I can break it down like this, and say 343 weekly opens and closes above there, fantastic. Do it a number of times in a row, holy goodness. If it comes on the back of 3 subsequent opens and closes on the top Bollinger Band on the daily chart, if that also happens in the historical volatility percentiles kicking off, then you can add all that together, put on top of it Rocky Outcrops DMI, look at the ADX, look at the DI+, look at the signature, look at the flash if it is or hasn't got one, combine that with all the things I've taught you about the MACD, go back and look at all of the hints I've dropped about how to use the parabolic SAR, put all of that together, as I'll be doing, along with accumulation distribution indicators, and having looked at that all the time to work out where these shares are going as and when they do move around in terms of, is it to people who are accumulating or distributing. Add all of that stuff together and look at key points and areas of inflection on those indicators themselves, and kind of up with your charts in a study of confluence using all of your on-chart indicators such as the EMAs, the Bollinger Bands, and all the continuous stuff that you've been looking at on price action, if you have been like me on these charts for hours and hours every day live on the internet, so the point where you've had to test yourself against public opinion and there's people out there who don't like you. If you've done all of that work and you've had a conscious journey along with price action and the technicals, so that you completely and utterly are immersed in these charts, as I obviously am, you're now able to look at things and make decisions yourself, and hopefully you've got all of those tools at your disposal, plus all the other ones that I've ever talked about, and you'll have some understanding of what it means to look for trigger points, and when I say that, I mean like confirmation on those indicators that something big has changed, right? Now, and I can't necessarily tell you how you could link all of that into triggering the MOAS and those things, but I can tell you that from a trader's perspective, you would be looking at that area. You would open up other things that most people don't really know about, right? Like most people don't know you've got these things. Even this is just the absurdity of YouTube technical analysts, is that they do things like Elliott wave theory, and they don't even understand that the most basic principle of it is that there is no x-axis. There literally is no x-axis. They've all learned off some shitty website on the internet or off some fucking other dickhead internet personality or some fucking amateur, right, who's like also learned it in this flow of Chinese whispers or whatever you call it, where somebody passes on the wrong message and it keeps happening until the point where it gets to some guy who somehow manages to get popular in the internet because that series of de-evolutions and reductions in value that have led to that message now being digestible and viral enough to get across to the masses, is then loses all practical effectiveness, right? You can't use it any longer. That's what happens, right? That's what's happening with all of these different people on YouTube that are talking about all this shit. Anyway, I'm getting distracted now by thinking about those, when overall my point of it I was trying to make was that there's these different ways of using these things. These are the ways that use them. I tell you how to use them properly. The people that are talking about Elliott waves say things like the x-axis matters. The x-axis doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. It's not how it came up with it, right? That's not how wave theory works. It's all about things like get it up here. People, if you've tuned in often, obviously you'll have seen this, right? It's like a point and figure chart, right? It's a completely different type of charting to like your normal logarithmic or other chart, right? It's a completely different kind of thing, and this is how you measure like higher highs and higher lows. And in that point, you're no, that's not Elliott wave. This is Wyckoff distribution. Holy sugar! I was completely off target there and talking about a completely different thing. Anyway, also the same true that it's the same thing. Sugars. I got distracted by talking about that. Where do I want to go with this thing? I could load this other chart to talk about that. It's not the coin figure. It's the, if you wanted, you'd do it on the. This one. Save the day. Save the day, Jimmy. Oh, sugar, I've not got it drawn out. Oh, no, I've just changed this. This isn't right either, because I shouldn't be able to do that on this one. Ah, sugar. I've not got that saved. Oh, well, there I go. Trip myself up with that. Anyway. You want to do it properly on a scaled chart, and you want to work things out, and you want to work out your waves as and when they're happening, and if they're happening or not, and when they're failing, and what that means on different timelines, and doing the multi-time frame analysis that goes along with it, because that's what you have to do when you remove the x-axis properly. You have to look at these things. Anyway, people don't fucking do all that, and I'm getting way off target now. Also, I've distracted myself up by not having the right possible chart to go to there. Anyway, long story short, as I said a million times before, I thought I'd fix that about this. What am I looking at here? AMC. Yeah, well, I'm on the other type of chart now because I'm on that. That's because it's that, and that's a Gann chart. I don't want that up, and it's not right anyway. Go back. Where is it? I've got it open. Whew, right, start again. Is this the right one? Yes, this is the right one. And I've missed those chats again. Sorry. Oh, Cosmic Lightning War, you freaking legendarity that's come up, but I don't see what it says. I'll check that in 2 seconds. So what am I saying about this? Oh, this is what happens when I start talking about IMSA. So you're below this basis line here. Is that? No, it's the 8 period moving average. It's the daily time frame. Okay, we went from the 4 hour to the daily, and we're confirming if it looked good or bad. And I got the impression that lower low there, degree perhaps divergence there, though it's not very drastic. You've still not got a real positive trend here, but that turned up, and you've got the ADX turned up, and it's coming from a good area, so that might be something. But in order to break this sloping area and these horizontals, it'd have to go through important levels, and the first one of which it's at the minute, and be a lot to ask it to do more than that. It's already going up 4.13% a day. That's not bad. I mean, it's been up higher maybe, but this is in around there. There's all these other places above there, 36.23, coming in at your 50 period moving average on the daily time frame. Also this downwards open diagonal, it's tough to imagine it getting past there. Your Bollinger Band itself, is it expanding still? Nope, contracting. So you typically see this contract a bit more, and I would suggest that would say that you're not going to break areas above $40 on this in the near future. That's what I'm thinking. That isn't to say this trend is finished. Could test lower. I think it will, but then I think it's going up. I think that it's probably going to come in and test these lows. This area of the breakout zone, this little area maybe. And on different time frames there's gaps and stuff. So, maybe it's here, it fills them, and depends how market participants react. These patterns themselves don't guarantee anything, of course. In themselves, they only represent market participant psychology. That can go anyway at any moment, and people try to control it all the time. And as I say, don't let anyone control your mind as much as you wouldn't let them control your body. Jamie, in your opinion, what was the cover? So that was that. And let me see all these things I've missed. Sorry, everybody. Sorry! What time is it? I'm going to take a break after I've read these messages. Check super chat from Superlight 10 Warrior. Right, I'll just go with the super chats. I'm sorry. Why people just watch clickbait and hope videos? It's just to boost views. Also, don't watch anyone else for tea other than GME and Rocket. Great work. Thanks very much, Chris. I'm not about that. You can watch anyone you want, and I'm sure you do, and I drop it. That's one of the things I appreciate most about this audience is like I see is at all the other good places. So like I kind of feel really privileged to have to speak to people who are like I think like some of you is like, I mean, it's not about me. It's not doesn't reflect about me. It's just that I really feel like that's good. It does, it does. I do feel it's true. It's true a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, great. People who watch the smart people watch me. I do. I feel like that, right? Okay, I admit it, right? Obviously, like I do think, thank fuck, and thanks. So I don't mind if you watch other people, especially like people like. They're doing like whatever the fuck, hey, don't let me tell you what to do, whatever, but also, yeah, I'm the fucking best. Whatever, it's fucking obvious. I know I am. Everyone that watches me knows I am. What else was there? Chris, was that was Sam Bone. Are the FTDs packaged as options and shipped off to foreign graveyards in a way, shape or form dangerous to country they're being stored? I don't know necessarily about all of that. I can tell you in shorthand that most commonly not, and that most commonly, and I would say lots of stuff's happened since 2008 to now, and there's like, but there are records of everything, and it's not impossible to figure it out that people who've done bad things, they'll be caught one way or another when it all comes down to it, and we have to have faith that those people that are responsible for fixing shit will do it, and it's like it may well be that despite a lot of us getting our tendies, that in so doing there'll be an economic apocalypse, and that you're being framed for it, despite you being actually the person sorting everything out. And that's the way it is, right? A profit is never respected at home, and so don't expect to get any thanks for it during it. But afterwards, it's not about what any particular news outlet says did whatever. It's about the people in the street, and the people in the street will high five you, hug you, love you, and know that they were in the same fight with you and what you had to go through to get here, and what some people had to sacrifice in order to be like just here so far at this stage of the journey. Never mind what you'll be doing, like how you'll be feeling afterwards. I know what I'll be doing all day, just like what brings a smile to my face. So what I'm saying that, I think it's all possible. We can sort it all out. I think that FTDs are still kept. They're used against your collateral mark-to-market price, and you really freaking hope that those shares never pop. And there's some FTDs sitting out there that'll have been there for many, many years, and companies that you might have long forgotten about. There'll be loads and loads of different areas where we could expect crazy, crazy volatility on both sides. And so I don't think, I know that people like to say the FDs will never be sorted because, and this and that and the next thing. And I've seen the other, I can see why people would be cynical and think that it's not possible. But I think the FTDs are what you need with regards to the FTDs are the brokers who hold them on behalf of their clients to come forward and say, yo mate, give me my FTDs. At which point they can't ever, because it's an FTD already, and at this stage of the chain, then they'll have to default or fix the FTDs. That's going to happen. And when it does, it's by choice. I mean, when they're forced to do it, it's their assets that they've been using at the minute in order to perform market actions and be who they are. They've all got that's collateral against that, and that's all measured mark to market, including things like your FTDs. That all reduces that overall use of that, efficiency of that, of your money, right? So you don't want FTDs, right? You don't, right? And if you do, you want them to be mark to market, measured against things that are really obviously very cheap, right? So you want to fail to deliver because the thing's completely fucked. That's what you want, right? And when it isn't completely, and so as a consequence, loads of things that do turn into FTDs are of companies that are completely effed. So as a consequence, it's perfectly natural that there will be out there in the world millions of FTDs potentially for things that are fucked that you look at and you're like, but sure, there's millions of FTDs. Some of them have been around for ages, Jamie. That doesn't mean anything. It's like, holy shit, mate. A minute ago you were just ignorant. Now it's FUD. Like just because you don't understand the system, and because maybe I didn't answer it in my first iteration to you, that's because I didn't know where you were coming from and your level of ignorance, right? And I'm not saying this about you, mate, Sam. I'm really not. You're a legend. I'm not saying this. This is how people talk about the FTD thing, and they're like, yeah, but there's millions and millions, and they're over here, and it's like, yo, man. Most of them are for perfectly legitimate reasons. The whole thing exists for a reason, and if you've been like responsible for holding an FTD, and the reason for that is because the thing went to effing shit, then you'll still be stuck with that FTD perhaps and not actually have the actual thing at the end of the day. And that's not for anything like the dynamic that we're talking about here on GME. It's completely different dynamic. So then when it comes to people talking about, well, this is how they hide them and this is they do that. And then when they talk about hiding them, they're just conflating with loads of shit that happens anyway with these things when they're like, who wants this crap, right? And in the same way, right, you understand that like if the thing goes to fucking worth absolutely shit all, and that thing is an FTD, and as I've explained, it's used, it's valued, it's mark to market price as its actual price, and that price is and it's used against your collateral and whatnot. You can work out, right, if you've got like any experience of this stuff or like double accounting, like if you understand how the various methods of doing accounting, right, you'll realize that debt, that liability, it can be used in other ways. So like it's not necessarily a terrible thing to have an outstanding FTD in the system. So the fact that there's shitloads of them can't be used as a negative case against the narrative of the MOAS. Like it can't be, right? But people like me who tell you that, articulate that message and say, look, that's FUD, right? Sure, you could have a more definitive conversation about the details of it all, and I'll respond equally to that in terms of value and knowledge and all the rest of it. And we'll have the same conclusion that, again, you're wrong, right? Stop Fred and FUD. And essentially, yeah, you're learning about things. On your journey, you'll make these leaps of understanding. Sometimes you'll be wrong. Often, you'll be making them, because you're trying to solve problems, you'll be making them from a place of anxiety, in which case you'll end up there, having made that conclusion, then with your own anxieties about it, and not confident in that decision you've made. And then you'll express these issues, and people will use that as a point of weakness against your psychology. And so, wouldn't it be fucking fantastic if these circle jerk mum and pop Facebook crappy, and I'm not saying Facebook groups aren't good, right? They are good, right? So people use Facebook's cool. It's not the cool. It's totally whatever, right? Don't listen to me about what is or isn't cool. What I mean there is, you do you, right? But like so many shitty things get attention, and like news comes out in such a crappy way that like those messages don't get out there, and like there's nothing to worry about. In fact, like more FTDs for GME, like the merrier. And people then talk about, yeah, but they don't have to come up with them because they can just escape them because of bankruptcy law, or they can do this because of the next thing. And it's like, you can't, mate. It's like it's intrinsic to the way the system works. They couldn't have come in the door without paying a toll. That toll measures and is measured against the total risk that they can go and take when they're now inside this building. And you've got that here holding it at the reception, and they can't fucking leave without, like, they want that back, but they can't get it if they fuck up everything in there. And so that's the way it works. You know, it's not like, well, they can go in there and be like, well, I'm going to fire a chapter, I'm going to go to declare bankruptcy. Like, I'm not paying that guy at the desk. It's like, he's got all your shit already. It's not a question of you paying him. He's just not going to give you it back, right? That's the way this works. And it's the same process with the insurance fund. So don't, like, people spread FUD all the time, right? And I could, if I had the time, make individual reposts to each one of them and put this shit out here. Whatever. Anyway, I'm getting really distracted now, and I didn't read Cosmic's Warrior. So if they're not banging FTDs, if they're not benign FTDs, anyone connected to the US markets could be potential financial bomb carriers. Am I crazy? No, you're not crazy, man. There's shitloads of them connected there that could be the fucking trigger. Shitloads of them, of course there is. But Boner City, I'm the king. Buckle up. There he is. There's the Cosmic. Yo, you're in Boner City at the minute. What's it like out there? Fantastic, innit? It is. Thank you very much for that. Very generous donation, Cosmic brother. You're a legend. Have things out in outer space. It must be fun, I imagine. Space Monkey donated 9. How do you stay fit out in outer space? You know, like most of my exercises, thanks to gravity. How'd you do it, Cosmic? Is that why you're so tall? You know, Cosmic Lightning Warrior's 40 foot tall. I think it's because he's growing up in space. Space Monkey donated $9.99. Thank you so much, Space Monkey. JC is me. Jamie, you're hurting. Filler, I've got that one. Can you look at B&B? Will do, Rob. CD Burn Guy, $4. Thank you very much. Missed my super chats. What have I missed? Spyfield High. That was it. Spy, B&B. Yes, I liked Warhammer. It's like, Jamie, that speech it wasn't a speech. I was just talking normally. Because people don't really essentially, we don't make speeches, we just talk to each other. And then internet happened, and everyone's like, "Holy shit! Look at the way those guys talk to each other." And so most of us are like this. Well, not most of us. Well, I don't fucking know, right? 35. Spot 1614, not bad on AMC. Did I go down? I didn't. I did the 4 hour and daily, and the message was be cautious, but it looks good. Then go down and look at the smaller time frames. 15 minutes, you're at 35.28. This is this inverted head and shoulders. If you get out of it here, you've opened and closed above the. No, you've not. You've opened above the 200 period moving average on the 15-minute time frame. You've got 10 minutes of this left. I suspect this will go up and leave in a touch of a wick. This is the area where it might stop. If not, it's the area where the body will close should the wick go on, and I'd say those above are, I could draw other lines, but I'm not going to. Look, it's just gone straight to my green line. Look at that. Boom. 50 minutes. Is that my green line or is that its green line? No, it's my green line, yeah, and there it is, wicking already. So we'll see how that evolves, right? Stronger picture on RSI, that's good. Stronger than it was back over here, that's good. Let's look at this in terms of Fibonacci. Fibonacci, as I explained earlier, is a tool to measure the strength of a retracement, after which you could say it's no longer a retracement, but it is the new trend. So it's a one way I use of measuring the trend, and these Fibonacci numbers, let's take it from where? Probably already got these on the charts, and that's why we've got these green lines. Well, let's take it down here. There's your top, there's your low. As you can see, this is your golden pocket. It's the golden pocket of this retracement. It's a very bullish move. Anything beyond there's like asking for a lot higher risk for a lot lower reward when it comes to trading, and trading like that's never very, very smart. Anyway, we're not talking about trading, we're talking about huddling, and here's one of those areas where you're in AMC, you're bite, grin, and just bear the little bit of a pullback. That's the way it works. And what you want to see on that pullback, which won't be then biting, and it might even be like quite relaxing and enjoying, and then is to see tests of important things, and then hitting the 618 afterwards, getting caught by the 0.5. These are Fibonacci levels. That would be positive. That 0.5 comes in at 34.20 or so. So open above there, great. Cosmic Chris, what else have I missed? Have I missed other stuff? Maybe I have, and I'm sorry if I've missed other one. Stonk Market, bro, no. Damn that Carol Baskins. Hey man, the feck, like seriously, I don't know what it's all about, I really don't know. Oh, didn't I say it wasn't alright? Yes, I was. Anyway, so looking at this thing, you're like, well, what am I saying? Well, I was saying like the areas that retest things would be very positive, but the truth is it hasn't actually broken out of any sort of resistance, and these sort of things, while they might be bullish wicks at one point, can turn into, negative candlestick formations, and that might be something that, who knows if that's what's happening now. Certainly I'm not in charge of price action in AMC, but I am here to caution people, and like, well, it might be like in other areas, and that had this all been going the opposite, like had my advice been like, oh excellent, and I'll do this and that, some people might be like, wow, clip this and share this to EA, and it's brilliant because he said it and that, and because it's going to the way they're inclined to enjoy it going, and this may obviously be to you might find as much value in me giving TA and prices doing still exactly what they would do, but it might not just be beautiful in terms of resonating with your own goals and objectives. But if that's to understand things better, then would-loo-do. What did this message say that I've got to catch up with them as they're happening a little bit better? You must be due for a tea or coffee by now. Maybe throw Ray on for 5 minutes and refresh thyself, senses, sir. Also, great stream. Thanks. Slayer success. Yo, Salamander, that's a good idea. And KK, 10 freaking bucks. Yeah. Also, maybe I spent too long. That's 15 minutes there. You're thinking, sure, no. If it does break it, that's fantastic. It's strong on the RSI, strong on the DMI. That's positive trend. That's covering up to the 38. That's great. You know, let's be honest. Like, it was also good on the hourly, saying that's a good retracement up there. It is maybe opening and closing above resistance. The measured move on this thing makes it past the 6 on 8. You're asking for a lot, yeah. You also like, oh my goodness, like up there, right? If it does go for it, right, it's $40. Is it going to do that? You know, if it does, fucking wonderful, right? If it does, fucking wonderful. But actually, I think that it's more likely it's in this channel, and that's like the top side or near or thereabouts of this part of this move, which itself is overall bullish, but may then ultimately come back down again, put in a lower low than here, and people in AMC may be like pondering why that's happening, especially if at the same time GME is going up, which it may well be. I'm not saying that it's going to, or those things will happen differently, or there'll be that kind of divergence on the charts, but this looks fucking good. 162.58. Fucking yes, my son. Yes, my son. Yes. So what we're looking at here is 24 after. At 30 after, we'll be back for more something. What is it? It's going to be awesome. Jamie is extremely calm today. The last time was this calm. We skyrocketed pretty quickly after. Yo. Yeah, am I calm today? I don't know. I don't know. Am I aware of my own behavior even? Possibly not right now. Just take it. Tradespotting. Why did you copyright claim my image showing off your shirt on your Reddit? Bloodshot Blinkers. I didn't copyright claim your image showing... What? Why did you copyright claim my image showing off your shirt on your Reddit? Sad face. I would never do that, Bloodshot Blinkers. Copyright claim you. What? No, there was somebody trying to run scammy shops that was selling unreasonable shops merchandise themselves, which is completely different. There was nobody. I didn't copyright anything. That's not the way I'd run the Reddit there, Bloodshot Blinkers. And I'm the only mod, so I'm the only one that could have, I imagine. I don't know what happened there. I can't imagine that would have been what happened. I certainly don't remember it like that. I don't know. I don't actually know what you're saying there. I love when Jamie says, buddy close. Buddy close. Bring it. Thank you, Tradespotting, for your stream. You're welcome, Tiger. Don't be upset, Bloodshot. Whatever it is, I'll fix it. I don't understand what it is. Yes, set and setting is the most important, Chris. Yo, feisty today. Wait, am I feisty? The other person thought I was Cam. Maybe that was you that thought I was Cam. I don't know, I don't know. And if it's you and you've got multiple names on the internet and you think I treat one of your name personalities different from the other, I'm sorry, I didn't know you was the same dude, Joe or girl. That happens all the time. It's funny. So especially if I like one of you and don't like the other one of you, and then you're like, why is this happening? And then I meet later on and say, you're the same person, huh? That's interesting. That's funny, that shit. But I'd rather just know you as one name. Phonetic Duck, you legend. Late to the stream. This is some Jack. That's some Jack. Thanks. Thank you very much. And thanks to everybody who donates and supports the channel, and the members and the Patreons and the people who support Rocky and this Patreon, everybody there and everybody here, and for watching, likes and everything that you do. It means loads and it helps loads and I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. So this is GME and we're looking at it on the 1 hour time frame. That is enough to get a good picture of things, especially over a number of closes, right? You get an hourly time frame, you get enough hours on the chart there, and you've got your hours on. That's enough to know about what's going on with price action. It is. No worries, I don't think it was you, or maybe a mistake. I don't understand though. What was it? How could it have happened? I'm the only mod. Maybe they've got some copyright reporting thing that's like not about mods or something. I don't fucking know, I actually don't know what's going on or what you're talking about, so I'd have to actually look at it to see, and then maybe I'd understand straight away there. Hi lol, hi shit, fuck Bob Mamajama, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was Disneyland. I love you, man. It's 162.54. 4 hour candles. Are we breaking resistance yet? I would say no, not yet. Here, you're looking up at this 236, 171 till then 162. This level, the 4 hour like that. That's 1, 2, 3. That's positive. If you get a body close. Lower than the previous one, that doesn't actually matter. These are the levels below, like 159.59. That'd be a nice little area to catch it should it go down. But you are looking up. You're looking up at 171.42. That's what you're thinking. SPY took a dip. Bad Mama Jamma was saying. That's what he's looking for. How you doing, Cosmic Bonus City? I didn't read your reply. Sorry. Probably did and I didn't. I'm sorry. I get through dealing with multiple conversations in one week go like that and I fuck it all up. So I didn't say that. I was very, very nice there. I didn't say a swear word. I didn't say that about myself, did I? FOMO in one call. People FOMO in all the time. Crazy prices. Take a break before it's leaning on a market close. Oh, sugar, what time is it? Holy jamolies. Gonna have my break now. Cup of tea and I'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, Jamie. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Please bear with me. I put the music on. I was doing the music for the Gist video whatever, and I probably put Reynaldo's song on too loud. This is the problem with me when I listen to Reynaldo's music. So I think like, oh, everyone's going to want to listen to this. This is amazing, you know. And then it's like, is that possible? Because I also don't have headphones or that to edit the sound on videos. So it's like I'm all doing it with my TV speakers and blah 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 blah. Anyway, point being, I'm not necessarily sure at getting like the stuff right when I've got multiple different audios on top of all the other problems I got with it. So maybe bits of it were too loud there as he was talking at the end, which is like, darn it, because I don't want to do that wrong. And people might be like, well, you then why would you even make the choice to use music that's got lyrics in it? It's like, because the lyrics are like, when you combine them with the things that the guy's saying during it, are like uplifting, and it's like, because it's also like, you know, anyway, some people just don't understand. Nah, it's like, I'm out here fucking, you know, I'm doing it for free. It didn't put adverts or nothing on the video there. I was trying to make it so that it was as accessible as possible, the message and that, and somebody comes along in live chat and they're like, this is fucking. And you're like, whoa, buddy, whoa, yo. Also, it's King Ray, so, you know, take it up with the big man. I'm going to have a cup of tea real quickly. I'll come back and look at the charts. You can see the charts when I'm not here. It's 162.93. Yo, yo, yo. And I'm going to do this I'm going to do this last 15 minutes. Coming up at 45 after, I'm going to do absolute kick-ass 100 mile an hour, but also really digestible and at the same time top level technical analysis on GME and AMC right up till close. We're going to show you how to trade sophisticated traders look at these markets as these important time frames are coming to head. We're also going to look at BNB. Jimmy, you think I should get my money out of crypto and go all in on GME? I cannot give you advice on what to do with your money or how to play it. I think crypto's been doing fairly well. I think things are good. That's certainly not how I've done it. I live on this. This is my job, is trading. So I can't afford to literally it just wouldn't work because I've got no other source of income. So now this thing happening, the money goes back into it. No, and in actual fact, it's net negative. So that's not the way it works for me. I have to do stuff to live, and that sense. One of the things to do is trade things, and often part of it is cryptocurrency. I don't take it all out at the minute. I just use things, cover my positions when things look like they're going down. I also do that in such a way that I'll have covers up so that I don't lose money regardless of what happens with the prices. And sometimes, actually much more often than not, it will make money regardless of which way the prices go. And that's how you trade cryptocurrency, yo. I mean, it's like some people just and when I get round to talking about how you do those things, then maybe I'll completely change the way you go about things and hope you make money, but help you. None of it's financial advice, but the way I've got things is I cover my positions. The way I covered Bitcoin from the drop from 64 down to 32, I had that covered, right? So all the money that I had in Bitcoin when it was at $64,000, all of that money value of it was protected, even though the price halved. So then when it got down there, I closed that cover, which meant that I hadn't lost any money. And then when prices went up, like, I open covers, and it goes down again, I close them, and I open, I close them, I open, I close them. And that's just one hedge on one asset in the way that you would trade that, right? Because in many ways, like, I'm about capital efficiency and also preserving the golden egg, right? I want everyone to get the best of both worlds, even though the system is rigged, and I'll try to help you do that the way I do. Anyway, long story, nearly did it again. Yay. So that's how you play the Bitcoins. And it's the same when you're trading. Like, Frostcrest is the guy to go to. Right? He's tasked with helping 1,000 people how to trade. And then one of the things he's good at, because of the way he thinks about shit, is options. And the way he likes to do things, I appreciate his approach to that. And I think he's good. I don't want you to bombard him with questions. What I mean is that hopefully he'll articulate how he does things, and you'll be able to follow along with him in Rocky's Discord, not by annoying him, but like seeing what he does in such a way that then helps you benefit. And that's one of the ways I would love for Frostcliff, because I think his approach to shit is good, and the way his aptitude and the way he's going is brilliant, and I think it's awesome. So but yeah, that's the way to trade. You want to trade Bitcoin with a cover so that you can always just take it off, and then often that'll allow you to take longs as well as holding the thing. You'll be able to take longs in that. And if I'm trade in Bitcoin, I take leverage longs all the time, and that leverage you shouldn't do. And I trade Forex and trade crazy ass leverage that you'd probably shit your pants just thinking about. All sorts of shit like that, and I'm not boasting that. Loads of people do, so I'll help you do it, right? And I think it's achievable for any of you, and I'll help you. But yes, what am I talking about exactly? Yeah, that's how you do it with options too. You know, you'd hedge, right? You'd work out you get the long, right? Get your cover, your long position, right? This is your long, right? This is not just the long position, but you get your long option call, whatever, for whatever, and then you're like, well, I need to cover it with shorts, right? That's how it works, and you'd buy short to cover it. You'd work out your delta. You'd work out how many shorts you need to cover it. You get them. Next day, you look at that. It's like your delta's changed. That means, well, you don't need as many shorts, so you buy some back. And you'll have made money on that process, as well as like having covered from the drop. You'll have actually realized a profit there at that point, and because it was going short, then that's good for you, right? And the big companies abuse this process. Then you'll work out your delta again. It'll tell you the next day, like, need more, so you buy more, and then you sell them, buy them, sell them, and then over time, just from hedging your own position, you start accumulating wealth. And then when the time comes that you no longer need to hedge and the thing can go up, then you take the covers off, having entered within Bitcoin or something such as this with a leverage long, and then you can turn fucking not so much money into shitloads of money, and you can do it in a safe way, and you can get rich by trading smart, and you don't have to take massive price moves to make money. You don't have to take huge risk reward. You just have to do it smart and do it well, and like understanding delta is part of that, and Frostcrest is part of is a good person to light your path, and not by annoying them with messages, just following them along. And so is everybody in Rocky's group. You know, everyone's really smart and they're doing it in the right way, and don't take stupid option trades, for fuck's sake. That's not what this is about, innit? Right, Tradespotting. It would be great if you did a tutorial on this stuff, covering, etc. Cool, well, something like that. No, but yeah, I would probably, I should do something like that. It's just like I also mean to like reorientate more for people, because everyone's interested in options, and I know it'd like capture a bigger audience while also being like on topic, and like I'd add value to that shit. So I do mean to do that, but at the same time, it's like also a little bit out of reach for some people, and might be like feel alienating to loads of people who just buy and hold spot. So, you know, but I will look at that sort of thing perhaps for other assets like Bitcoin, or how to manage like a crypto portfolio and that sort of thing. Sure, I'd happily do that, man, happily. It's just when I'm not covering GME and AMC, I'm like got my own thing that everyone knows all about by now. Picnic Network, shout out. Harriet, you think that I'm letting you off with that? I want to see the next thing on my desk. 15 minutes. Get to work, milady. My leverage. Hello, my leverage. It's like my liege, isn't it? My leverage. My lords. All that troops. Anyway, it feels like I'm burdering. I'm on a cash account. Yeah, and that's well, you're very smart, right? And when you're trading equities, especially when you're trading GME, I'd very much recommend that. I was answering, I think, along roundabout the ways, answering how you'd cover a Bitcoin position, how to come out of a covered position with a safe position, the only reason you'd ever do it is if you'd already managed to move your stop loss into profit. So in fact, if trade ever went against you, you'd be fine, in which case you'll never lose anything, right? You'll still come out of it in profit, at which point you can then turn that position into a leveraged one, therefore releasing your capital. And that's I'm talking about that in such a way as the trade is purporting itself. You can take your own capital out of it and then go and trade other things, and it's for capital efficiency, and like it's another way of like compounding your growth, like within a portfolio management. This is how like you hyper accelerate accounts and stuff, and like there are ways to do it that are safe with using like proper risk management, which is why it's so very fucking important that you learn what Rocky's doing. And if you get 4 years into it, then it's probably appropriate that I could give you 4 years of experience on how to do this situation, how to manage this situation, and then you fucking whatever, you teach other people, right? This is what it is like. This is absolutely hilarious, right? I like trades, right? I like him, the guy. So I've seen a number of 4 or 5 really funny things and like his personality. Anyway, he's like keeps getting quoted as saying, if you give a man a fish, he doesn't go hungry for a day, right? You teach a man to fish, he'll be satisfied. Like, you don't never need to give him more fishies, right? That's you've done your fish delivery job. And he says that the way it's meant to be said, but it's such an old, awful, like, annoying phrase. I hate it, so I refuse to say it the way it should be delivered. Instead, always say it a little bit different. And the way I think it actually is, what I've learned from doing this YouTube, is what actually happens is you come out here. Oh, and also you're a fanny. Thank you very much, my lady. You come out here, right, and you give a man a fish. And happy days, he's got his fish. You go home feeling good. You come back the next day, right? You turn up thinking, like, how's that good dude getting on? And, like, do I need to teach anybody else how to fish this stuff? And that guy's there ahead of you, right? He's there ahead of you. He's even set up a Facebook group. And he's selling this fucking new technology that's, like... It makes it so good that the fish can't resist it, right? You can't go wrong fishing with his technology, and but he's not going to tell you how it works. And when I see the guy on the shoreline, he packs up his shit and he runs away and he won't talk to me. But he's out there on the shoreline before me. He's got a Facebook group and that, and he's got a Telegram group, and he's like, "This is how you fish. You buy my fishing rod." Hey, so, and then when I do catch up to him, if I ever do, he turns around and he's like, "Yo, mate," and he tries to sell it to me. He's like, "This is it. Do you want to buy it? It costs $1,000 a year. It's an indicator, and it'll tell you where all the fish are. I'll sell it to you." And he's out there the very next day trying to sell that to me. Hey, it's like, mate, currently cooking, but working late, and I have stuff for you. Some of it is looking very good. So says you, my lady. I'll be the judge of that, and I am a horrible, wrathful judge of things. I'm anti-just. Used to, Jamie, you're horrible like that. What time is it? I'm taking this for 20 minutes until here. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about or how I got into those subjects. It's 40 after, and coming up at 45 after is Hardcore TA in the close. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
You've got your mind made up. Ain't nothing to see. Wondering why I'm smiling, looking like I'm dumb money. See, I've earned my chips, screamed in pain, all the while fighting your denial like I don't have a seat at the game. I guess I'm deranged, but I'm gonna hold. I've been down much longer than you have been gone. Keep on paying no mind, I'm setting up mine. Best believe I know from a play against your greed. See, I know you tried and conspired. Your degenerate ways on full display. It's a shame how foolhardy. I guess I'm deranged, but I'm gonna hold. I've been down much longer than you have been gold. Keep throwing chips in. You know in the end, this hand's deeper than your money. Fool, my hands are diamond. Our future is shining. My hands are diamond. Never bet against me. Yeah. My hands are diamond. My hands are diamond. I guess I'm deranged, but I'm gonna hold. Come on.
Hello. Hello, I am back. Thank you very much for waiting with me. For me. The price is 160.74. The time is 51 after we had a bullish wick there. It was negative price, dropped down on the 1 minute, come in and touch those lower levels, what we thought, just in and around them. Did it make it yet? Close, but not completely. Very close, so we call that as well. Drop below 161, come back for me and go boom. Pardon me. Well, one drop below 160 is likely maybe 158.90 or that abouts. 59.80 was it? I can't remember. Anyway, that may still be possible. I would expect it is, but you've got a very stretch there. You've got bullish wicks coming in, very stretched and oversold. You've got a very strong negative trend. All of that's still in place, so dippity dip, no problem. Last 10 seconds of that 1 minute, no problem. Of the 15-minute candle, it's obviously huge because you're below your resistance there, which is this area of the breakout zone before, where you tested it on a body close on a wick, and then previously come up and put in a different couple of touches with divergence on it. So this move was always likely to happen. Recover above the 50-period moving average at 161.80, or it's likely that there is a dip down. This is a positive cross, the 50-period crossing the 100-period simple moving, a 200-period simple moving average. And as that happens, prices are likely to test them. We've talked about this. We've talked about it a number of times. I should probably have clipped that video, but I forget now. I don't know where it is, and I make work for myself. But it was a good video on crosses and how to trade them. And anyway, you should look through my stuff. It's well worth it. You'll learn stuff. Maybe somebody could direct you to that. I'm sure Case Guy made chapters and would have talked about it, and so there's that anyway. So it might be that the prices likely test these things, that could test one or two of these moving averages, and it's not itself all that important across on this timeline, so it doesn't necessarily have to play it by the book, but if it did, there'd be a test of it, and then afterwards you'd see prices move on. So you can't necessarily expect an explosive return right here, right now, though it is the end of the day, and we are in and around the 160, and we opened today, went up and tested 160, low 163, and we were down at around 157. So here would be finishing off for like the midday range. It's also where our significant volume came through at, and testing here, and where we are, and you might say like that's where in and around where the VWAP is. I don't know, I don't use the VWAP. I think it's stupid. I think people who advocate for it themselves are either new to trading, in which case fair play, learn all you can with it, but then anyone who's been around for a while will have outgrown it, and so like there's what I think. You've also got other things that are so like actually like, anyway, whatever. Here's your Bollinger Bands, and like it's cool, like it's good. You can use them for things, and people do, and well done, fair play to them. Yo, an espresso machine, that would be all right, but I've got a big DeLonghi that does that most of it for me. Who knows if it's right? Coco's scared of it, but it's good, and it is a little bit on its last legs. We'll see how it goes. It's holding firm for now. So what do I expect to happen here? Well, this is a test of this area. Actually, let's see. Let's draw a Fibonacci on it and see where the 236 is. Actually, I should make a clip for the Busy Apes. Hi, welcome back to Tradespotting. I'm Jimmy. This is a clip within a live stream for the Busy Apes. It is 55 after. You have 5 minutes till the top of the hour, till the day is closed. Here's the Fibonacci retracement. It's going backwards against the trend that we're on, this uptrend on the small 15-minute time frame. As you can see, prices coming in testing 236 on the 15-minute. That's also confluent with our previous area of support and resistance. You would expect a test of this area. It's totally normal. It's also the 236. Fantastic. At the same time that's happening, you have a golden cross. It's not really a golden cross because we're on the 15-minute time frame, but if it was the daily, it would be. Here you are, and you see it in the smaller term time frames. It's likely that there's a test of one of these two moving averages. It may well be the 50, which would be very, very bullish, and at that stage the 50 could have moved up slightly. It may mean that prices stay in around here and that moving averages moves up to meet it, or it may be the price moves down to touch it, or it might be, a combination of those two things. Or it may well be that this is enough, this resistance, this horizontal, and so we put in that kind of signature and it follows with this trend. That trend itself might be a channel, might be going something like that, as you can see with this demand line underneath catching the lows and the supply line seeming to be where price action bounces down from for whatever reason. And you can see that there was a touch of divergence on this low. You can see that the trend changed quite definitively here on the DMI and coming up for a kiss between these two. This is the Rick and Morty lips. If you had a period of volatility here too, you'd know exactly what was going down. Great indicator, I'd say. May well be though that there's something more on this move, whether that be after hours or not is a different story. And you've got 2 minutes 24 seconds left before it finishes. There you can see you're touching the 8 period moving average. That's still very, very strong. It's on the hourly time frame moving up, and that being confluent with the 236. You're also within this diagonal sloping support on bigger time frames. Again, good to see that. This could well be a bear trap. It's measured move out of this, as you can see, that's the top of that channel. That also happens to be the measured move from, if should this be a falling wedge, there's your measured move from the first to the top touch of it, first to the bottom to the touch to the top. That's your measured move from it. Also happens to be the same measured move that you get when you draw this to be an inverted head and shoulders. There's your breakout point somewhere around here. There's where you come to. It's obviously the same thing there. It also forms the top of this channel. That's how you trade. It's really good. Not only is that really good, and I've explained there a little story that brings you to this point in price action in the last minute or so of the days today for this clip for busy people, but if the first time you're learning this stuff or seeing this stuff, I also backed all of this up and told you ahead of time last week and used dark markets, talk about institutional order flow and showed the difference between those charts and our charts, the stuff you get to see and the stuff everybody with the money gets to see. So real value being provided around here. Little dumbass, here's to the king of unreasonable land. Thanks for all you do, Jamie. Thanks for all you guys do. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hitting like button. Thanks for all your support. You guys are legends. And this fight we're all on, I'm here to add value to it in the ways that I know how and can do. And I appreciate everybody who's with me, and I'm with all you guys. Right, 200 to 236, retest at 160 or just below it. That's absolutely fine. And closing around here also, again, absolutely fine. Lasted 43 seconds of price action on the day. Quickly took a look at AMC. 33.92, that was its high coming in on this 1 hour time frame, testing back the 50 period. That's normal. Slip below there, touch the 382 would be normal, below the 0.5. You can see that as being like a touch of a high, no real divergence, nothing to worry about. You've got positive inflection on the low there, but it's just this is the top of a channel. It may come down again. Expect to see it try that sort of thing. We'll see if prices go beyond the 236. We'll talk about making new lows on this trend. Till then, it looks like it could be in for another test of the top. We will see. Nothing dramatic happening on AMC, and I don't expect there to be dramatic after hours particularly, but it's still possible, of course. GME, on the other hand, might drop a little bit after hours, but you've got this positive formation here. Again, that could be something else. You could draw it in loads of different ways if you wanted. I would suggest that it's all about the horizontals at this stage, and the one above you is 171.42 as price action finishes for the day. Here we go, market close 161.13. Congratulations, we're up 6.17%. We have got a close above 160. Let's see if we can put an open and close in tomorrow at that level. That would be really good. If it's also not a doji and you get a little bit of a good range on it, then, good week. Could we have a good week ahead of us? But that's not financial advice. It's just tomorrow's news today, as brought to you by Tradespotting. Thanks for tuning in to this clip for Disney People. Also, check out the interview I did with Josh from Give Me the Gist. It's good. It's non-monetized. No adverts before you watch it. You'll appreciate it. I hope it's a good message, and I hope it gets out there. Thank you very much. Hit the like button and stuff. You don't have to watch live to hit like. Please do it. See you next time. That was the clip for the busy folks that want to end the day. TA Jamie, end of the day, TA. Okay, right, so how is everybody and what did I miss? And I'll look at it now. BNB was one of them. I'm also going to go here to YouTube and put on where is it? Where's my create upload video. Yeah, sweet. So I can do this for the busy apes super fast. Just drop it out there and boom, there you've got your ape video busy folks. Some of them don't like being called apes, so I do try to remember calling them busy folks, but you know, it's like gestalt, isn't it now? It's stuck in my head, right? Where are going? Videos. And that'll be it. It's 5 minutes 19 seconds. Is it really that quick? That quite possibly is. There's your update. It's 5 minutes, folks. Missed nothing, nailed it. Thank you very much. GME AMC. Busy folks. Close and golden cross. That's like sounds clickbaity, but it's true. And I explained it in it and whatnot, so it is there. And I don't mean to piss people off with something that gets their hype up when it's not true, because it is true. What's today then? It was Monday, and it was a quick close. There's it. Upload this video. Please add it to a playlist, Jamie. Please, if it comes across your, if it shows up on your feed somewhere, please click on it and view it. Get the click rate up on it, so that all the people YouTube decides to show it to people and then like it, so that YouTube thinks that it's valuable content. That would really help me, because it gets the message out, and I wanted to do all that. So there, I'm ready now. There's done. That's everything, I think. Oh no, I have to do this silly nonsense. Okay, yes. So then I'll get around to answering everybody's questions. Everybody, questions now. Blah, 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 blah. Can you take a look at Astra, please? Maybe, Froglord, maybe. Don't know what I've got to do so far. Tradespotting, you're getting really good at YouTube. Am I, Electro Boy? I'm not so sure. I'm trying, that's for sure. That's one thing I am sure of trying. Definitely trying. But got good advice out there from some really good people. Really good people. Tradespotting, just call it Tiger King TA. The algo will eat that shit up with big spoon. Oh, that is a good idea. What is going on out there? That's a good idea. I put money on the dark side. AGIX is Singularity Net. We don't want a singularity yet. We're not ready for that, my friends. Add an end screen. Nonsense. Yeah, do that nonsense. Ding dong 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 ding dong ding dong. Thank you for everybody who's recently subscribed. Really, really boosting channels. We'll appreciate it. Thank you very much. Next. Everything's fine. Make it public. Yes. No, I don't need a schedule. Just go with that, folks. There you go. We're still checking your video for something. That's fine. Just publish it. So cool. Just go for it, folks. There, have at it. Video processing. Cool, that'll do that thing. So there's the Busy Apes series that's another bit of content for people, plus the live stream, plus the earlier clip. I also did a Busy Ape this morning for what we could see happening today in called price action perfectly, as you would expect, and did the interview with Josh, which was on this morning. So that's a lot of content, plus Rocky did his. And as I say, it's not necessarily about the content. It seems that I should focus on the framework and the layout and give things better to you. So here we are, just after the top of the hour. I've published this clip. I'm looking to take requests and end the show with that sort of thing, with you guys in mind, and catch up with anything I've missed in particular. And what else was I going to do at this stage? There was something 465 people here. Thank you very much. Hit the like button. There was something else I was going to do I thought you would like. What was it? Oh, well, maybe it'll come to me. Hedges or Rookit after that session. More to come. Yes, so there was loads of content, and that's what I was getting at. Loads of content. Loads and loads of content, so hopefully that's good for everybody. You know, it doesn't necessarily work with the stats, which is why I need like the engagement ratios, because, you know, YouTube works. It's not for me, as Rocky puts out. It's not for me. It's not for him. It's not for me either. It's for the whole thing. Magnet shirt, fanny magnet shirt. Thank you very much, Mark's a good lad. Tradespotting, you should plan something for when you hit 20,000 subscribers. What will I do, guys? What should I do when I hit 20,000? Yeah, definitely plan something. What should I do, guys? Guys and girls, my lords and ladies, what would be a good idea? What do people do? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. What do people do when they do those kind of things? Let's do it. Let's do that. Whenever we do that, let's do it. Whatever it is, Electro Boy. If I had something to celebrate, something from the community, of the community, that'd be great. I don't know what it'd be. Fucking knows anymore nowadays, but I'll do whatever you guys want, and we'll do that. If that and when that happens, you never know what'll happen, right? So I was gonna look at B&B for Rob. Jeez, I don't have it on my chart. How's the range? Which one will we take a look at? You get a lot of the options on this one. We'll go with Tether or Binance. So it's tested 200 on the hourly, daily time frame, higher highs, lows, negative cross, but it's failed. Prices are maintaining themselves above the 8-period moving average. So you've actually got volume on something that makes a big difference to that indicator, right? This bouncing off the exponential positive, having reaccumulated below the oversold zone, not bad, no divergence there. Positive trend still in dominance, but it's got shit all strength on it yet. This is dodgy. It is in and around its highs. People be getting excited because they previously have drawn a line like this and they'll say that was real and now we've broken out of it, etc. Let's look at W bottom as well, so they might be happy about that. That's positive. Not gone anywhere until you've broken certain levels though, and those levels are above here. They're up around that, around 391. Open and close above there, that'd be good. Let me see where you get to in a second. These lows, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Swing failure there, and that's good. It's touching the top of its range already though, let's see. Two, 3, 6 was important there. Couple levels above there, and then sure 886. That sort of retrace. After that, you'd make a decision, but I don't know if it's going to get there very much. Wouldn't trade for that at the moment. I'd say till such times as you get back above 450, sorry. Till such times as this starts opening and closing like 2-day candles above $450. This looks dodgy as F right now. Really does, like really dodgy. Obviously within that there's a big trade, right? It's $100 up and that's like a significant movement. So I'm just saying overall, like there's areas to pay attention to. 3-day 50-period moving average comes in at around 391, and your weekly body closes in around there, or the 0.5 Fibonacci is 391. So it would be like likely to see some sort of test up there, or even as far as $450 within this move. Still might look a little bit dodgy, but it's possible. You've got good move signature at the bottom here. Back down at the 4 hour, and let me see then with that in context. Touch of divergence there. You're also at your important horizontal support and resistance. It wouldn't be crazy to see this back at 293 again. Really wouldn't. So this is the question people are asking themselves. Does it go for the 0.5 Fibonacci line up at 395, or does it drop back down to the 236 at 293? This must be the question on people's minds. this formation here, which I draw the line through, that's what people will be trading for, but actually above it you've got other lines, like that might be the channel you're in. Might well be, and nothing definitive outside of that for a while yet. This is too extended to be anything obvious itself. This breakout of it's too inconclusive to draw extrapolate a trend from. There's your Fibonacci ceiling, here's your horizontal ceiling. Until such times as that changes, it's hard to make a decision. If you're in a trade already, I'd have stop loss. If I'd entered at the bottom, I'd have a stop loss in it around. I mean, who wants to hold that? I'd have my stop loss in it around $333, maybe less, maybe 328. But in and around that area is where I'd have a stop on it. If I was already entered this from down here, if I was looking at cover, I'd probably not do that until such times as I saw a completely different picture on the chart. And when I'm looking at our momentum oscillators then, and I'll start on daily and work our way down that way. See, that's positive outside there, positive trend here, and then a little bit perhaps of weakness in terms of momentum coming in here. Let's see if you've broken that trend yet. No, not necessarily. So histogram says that that's not necessarily done its job yet. We shall see. Maybe that it needs a retest, having broken. I think that's true. I think that you would only be able to confirm this kind of trend looking at these sort of momentum indicators with some sort of a retest afterwards. It doesn't seem like it's got its rockets fueled yet. People are unconvinced, and I can understand why. There's your negative cross on the daily time frame. May well come in and test that again. Then again, you are looking down 300s, 312 or whatever, and at that point you might think about re-entering. It is possible. This sort of size series of higher lows here, and that's good, but it's not the important levels. The important levels are still above you. Good. Not so good. Maybe good, but not really. And then please, sir, can you get out of my way? You are so annoying. Here we go. Fine, it tells me nothing. Great. Yes. Above the 200, so that's not terrible. That'll obviously fail, come back down. Maybe it's a stretching then. Maybe it's stretching on momentum front. 15 minutes, yes, I can see that. I mean, it's probably going to come in and test $350, right? $349, right? That's probably going to happen. At least. I mean, it's going to come in and test $350. And it's going to then come down and test at 200, and it's actually, you're looking at this like $340, like you're looking at that sort of thing, and then you'd be thinking, is it positive, is it negative? Because at the minute it's positive up here, but these things are saying like, nah, it's not really at all, and it hasn't broken any horizontal support and resistance, and like despite there being some sort of volume here, unlike GME, so you can do some analysis on it, there's certainly no well, whatever. It just wasn't jumping out at me earlier, and now it's too hard to even find the thing because it's silly indicators nonsense. Right, so that's B&B, yo. Thanks very much for the donation, and that is that. And the bad number jam I wanted to make look at SPY. It took a dip. Let me see. How did it finish the day? It's below the 50 period moving average. What is this timeline here? 15 minutes. Oh, there was your stop loss. It went. Did it do anything there? Well, you got a good trade on that if it was before then. I imagine it would have been, because I would have been drawing it afterwards. You got in there, you got a good trade. You probably took risk profit on this green line here, which I drew in there. That'll have been that. Look at that, and it came off it, and that. What a fucking trade that was. Holy shit bags, by the way. You're welcome. Ha! Yeah. Look at that, guys. Fucking hell. Anyway, so that trade, fantastic. People might be looking at that thing, but GME, and it's like, yeah, I would have fucking said, look, I would have said, like, obviously, and that. So congratulations to everyone, and more validation of the things that I'm saying about GME are really, really good. Because look, here's stuff that's like got the whole like test me on it, and look, well done, and it's buy too, right? This is the most popular traded thing in the world, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, there's some value for that. Then you came back up, you got another test of this area. If you wanted, you had that trade again. Here's your 200 period moving average. You're on the 15-minute time frame. We would have closed that, obviously. You've got a positive cross coming in here with a 50 and 200, so that's cool. That's all really cool. And then you're right, this area, you've got it breaking out of that zone. That's probably also giving you like the flip it around trade. You've also got that with your gap. Then it came down, your gap was filled, you're on the 50. Wow, I could have walked you through money on this thing, by the way. Anyway, here you are, dropping below that 50 period moving average. You'll get trapped between it and the 200. You've got this support line again. It'll probably come in and test. It's at $440. I expect to take a further dip there. It's also come through the center line on that. That's 15 minutes, but let's go and stop making crazy predictions. There's your cross on your group DMI as well. Positive on the hour. Positive that I can see what I'm saying is happening. It's not very positive. Your negative cross on the MACD. You're above the 200 and the 50. There's not a trade signal from that. You have put in divergence all over the fucking shop. We've covered this and we've gone up through this, and it's pretty much fucked. Judge your appeal of volatility where prices closed, moved away from, came back to. Awesome there. You got that call of something coming up. This looks dodgy as now. There's your bottom Bollinger Band's only at around the 50 period moving average at $440 on the 1 hour time frame, so there'll be a reason for it to be bought there, but once it breaks it, that's bad, and your sort of horizontal support and resistance below is not as important, so you'll see it go straight to 435 at 200 period moving average, and at that point your hourly time frame's no good for you anymore. You're on the 4 hour. Obviously your 50 period comes into the same place because that's the way these things work, but your eyes are drawn to these retests when it was broke before, and where did price action go to? These important levels, which I've already marked in, thankfully. And when it does, you want to be looking to see retest and relative strength at the time, or it could be that this is the demand line on the bottom, and you expect that it would play out like that for a while. And then what does that mean in terms of pattern? Well, it's like a wedge. So there's what you're looking at on this thing. How does it go? Fake outs either side of it, very possible. Could also obviously turn into a channel if things recover and go up like that. I'm not saying they're not going to. I think that people are overestimating the downside sometimes on this, or at least ushering it into their own peril, or bringing their own destruction upon them a little bit too hastily. So anyway, looks like it could go down a wee chunk there. Obviously there too, mind you, that's not bad. The signature is putting in now, having covered the exponential on the 4 hour. That's not bad, and if it can do that and accumulate below oversold and that, it can test up again, can do that and try and burn off that divergence, and that would be like a news event at the top of this channel here. There's always a chance that can happen. In the meantime, it's perfectly easy. That means that you've got a perfectly easy area to manage your risk from. And let's say that line is actually a little bit more up here, and then it's confluent with the top of this Bollinger Band. You've got another move on this, and here's another trade for you on this one. Put it so it's the top jama. Yeah, so there's your top Bollinger Band, there's the top of that move. Let's say you come up to there, and if you break beyond that, you don't want to be holding the short on this. I mean, your entry to it couldn't actually be, though, at your previous highs. Get up there. I had to manage this at the time, keep an eye on it, so I'm not saying this is going to be it, but there's your idea on it, and your retest of just one of these lines would be very good, like this one that you took profit at before. That's already given you a 1.89, so if you had the right signature on various time frames, maybe that's there. I don't know if that's strong enough. If you do get it all the way down to the 50 down here, then you've got a 5 to 1 or plus. So that was that. Can't see it because of this. Yeah, it's about 5 to 1 on that, and if you manage that stop loss area properly, you got that, and that's another short, right, which just covers anyway. It's going to the bottom of that channel, it's the worst place, and probably take profit along the way. That's how you'd manage that. You can also have it so that down there you cover a short with a long instead of closing that, and that's up to you, you know, how you manage your trades. It's not financial advice. That's that. Just watch that video back. Great work, mate. Thank you very much, Niels van der Graaf. That's really appreciated, buddy. Foreign Amish nickname, AMC. Let's go and look at the AMCs, my friend. AMC, thank you very much for Vorname Nachname. You do not have a name. Here's your 4 hour 200 period moving average. You touched it once, you're in this downward sloping channel, maybe a bull flag. It may turn into some sort of wedge. It may have a fake out area. Should it do so, those will be above you at certain areas rather than below you. Down below isn't a fake out, it's just a natural test and continuation of this trend. So I'll say, like, I've already done a lot of AMC today, so I'll say this in a quick way. You had this low test here, right? This is actually not a continuation of this channel, but a test of the center line as this move broke down, having traced the tops for so long that it just caught up with you. This is the supply line on the top, this red one. This one's your demand line, and within that, nothing has changed. And this is a significant time frame. On the daily time frame here, you can see that you've got like continuation of the weakness in the trend and trying to strengthen the trend. You've got of that, the negative trend is still the dominant one, though there is a chance that you've got something coming on the go here. You've got a potential positive cross coming in from your weakening momentum on the MACD and moving average cross divergence, and that's interesting. But I'll show you as we go through the time frames, that's not necessarily consistent through every area you might like it to be at. Yes, you have touched this oversold zone and come back, but you haven't broken through the center line, the RSI. This is like also within the context of a downtrend. Nothing inspiring there. Nothing great about that, really. Sorry. 4 hour. As you can see, I've got various lines on the chart here, some of them representing support and resistance, some of them representing Fibonacci sequence, and you can see you've come in, body closes, body closes, 236 and above, great, comes up, touch the 618, any more than that you're asking for maybe more than you're going to get at that point. It's also obviously at the same area at the top of this channel, probably it's going to take something extra to break it there, and you're not getting that picture on these indicators. If anything, you're getting a test of the downtrend as it kind of break here, and the dominant going to try and take over, and chances are that there has like a series of tests before that happens. It tends to be the way this thing goes, as you can see, especially before or ahead of anything significant. So I don't expect this to break out of this formation. I expect it to come back down again. Then the question you're asking yourself, having gone there, is like what's beyond, what's the greater formation then, and then also like what's within this one. And within this one, you've only got so much more value you can get. I've done most of what's going to happen. At the low side of things, you'd want to check for your previous lows on your indicators. As you can see, with price being already up at the top of the channel on price action, you can see that it's also really far up here on your indicators and whatnot, and things that go up tend to come down. You would rather see this at the top of the top of your channel on your formation on your price action, as this still had more to run on it, so that like you could imagine it going further, and so this not being the top on your price action, there being more to your move, and you're not getting that here. So that's that information. And then you go down to the 15 minutes and you say, that's dramatic, but it's at the center line, so you know, how does that keep going? We'll see. It's touched and dropped below this 200 period moving average. This is also now below the 5.5 retracement on this little minor recovery fib, having touched the 618. You're probably likely to come down 236. That's at 31.72, 31.20 something. And it's likely you'd see some test of this area and still hope that prices would go up. And my thesis would be that's not a safe enough place to enter a trade. I'd actually want to see it come down. How it responded at this previous low, which in my own mind I don't think it'll necessarily hold. And then I'd try and get in one of these higher lows and that, and it'd also be a gap fill, and that's what I think. Alternatively, you know, if you're in it and you're holding it and you're hodling it and have been for a while, and when I first bought this it was significantly cheaper than it is at the minute, and I'm not planning on getting rid of it anytime soon. Well, if you're like that and you're thinking like, well, where do I buy? Those are the answers, right? And if you're already in it and you're not going to sell and you want to see what's going to happen, I've already given you answers, right? That's what you need to see to be excited about it. Is it to do better than what I said it needs to do better than? And if you're in this and you're thinking, what's the other third way? You haven't yet entered yet there. You're waiting to re-add. Also, like, just wait till then. That's just all. I mean, what is there else to say about it? Like, it's pretty obvious for me. Right, AMC at 35.09. It is 35.20 after hours. Let's turn it on. Boom, 618. Well, this is the 618. So breaking above that, very difficult. After hours, will it open and close above there? Well, I don't know, it'll make the first half an hour, 15 minutes, half an hour tomorrow interesting. After hours on this one. Yeah, I don't know, this looks like the golden pocket's going to probably be your head on this. $36 perhaps. $35.97. If it does, fantastic, but that's a good candle, isn't it? It's after hours though, so unfortunately you can't use it the same way you might with others. Broken 35 now, yep. Well, broken is different from being above something. Breaking it is different. As people were all saying yeah, we've broken 151 when I was on GME last week, and I was that's that's not the way you talk about it. It's not broken it. It's just up there or above it at the minute. But it's just definitely the same as breaking it. Yo, hi all, hi all Nick, very much. Thanks for being here. And all 327 of you, and thank you for everybody who's ever been supports the channel. What have I missed out on, guys? What have I missed here? Here's to the King of Unreasonable, and thanks for all you do, Jamie. Thank you very much, little drumass. How's things in Canada? That's appreciated. Cheers, Chris. I've put money on the dark side. AGIX is singularity.net. You want me to look at AGIX? I shall do. And my Fanny Magnet shirt. Trail of the TA, could you give a short rundown of the fib values that are most significant for determining when to enter or exit a trade? The geek. Yeah, they're the ones that are confluent with your horizontal support and resistance and all the other indicators that I teach you about. Unfortunately, I can't give you the magic answer with regards to fibs in that way, and other YouTubers who tell you they can, or overly reductive of my stuff and think that that's what I'm doing. That's not the way it works. The fibs themselves don't give you that. What they can give you is a way of assessing what part of the retracement you're at when you'll have broken the trend. So you break above the 618 or below the 618, and you can think, well, perhaps this goes on and above the extension of this particular Fibonacci. And that so then gives you a target, which the first one would be on an equity such as GME or AMC would be the 1414, and then your second one would be the 1618, and they're your Fibonacci extension targets. Now, the most accurate way of drawing them, determining them, and putting trading around them is through the Fibonacci extension tool, not the Fibonacci retracement tool. So if you want to know how to use that, look up my video on YouTube, How to Fibonacci by Tradespotting. You find it's dead easy, and it teaches you all about those and how to draw them. So in terms of looking for where you might take profit, then those would be your Fibonacci extension targets, and those important ones to look for are those I just mentioned. Ahead of that, within your trend, you'll be looking at moves within support and horizontal support and resistance, and those ones that you're most interested in will be in a long-term trend and a period of consolidation or accumulation or whatever it might happen to be, is the 236, the 382, the 0.5, the 618 up to the 6.65 golden pocket, and they're the ones you're looking to. In terms of different moves and different things like a reversal pattern on the chart or a breakdown, you'll be looking for recoveries. Recoveries come into the 0.75, the 0.886, those sort of areas. And then when they're in context, that'll be determined by the strength of the momentum on all their indicators and whatnot. So it's just putting things together, and also that can be the same or opposite depending on what you're looking for a bullish or a bearish scenario. You'd have to be putting things in further context. So Fibonacci's themselves aren't any sort of golden bullet, silver bullet that's going to answer all your questions. They're something to bear in mind and keep in mind and use and learn from and note down at the time, so that when you progress in your journey as a trader and you look back and say, what have I learned, a lot of it will be contextual, implicit, but properly learned and actionable information, because you'll have thought about it and written it down perhaps in a trading journal and made decisions off the back of it, which you'll then have worked out and improved on iteratively. Very helpful, friend. You're welcome, Chris K. So this is what to look for in Fibonacci's, and you'll see within the study of confluence and across different time frames, when you draw out all these different Fibonacci's and use all these different Fibonacci tools, that some work more for other assets, some assets better than others, and there are different time frames than others, and where there comes to be periods of inflection and where you can put all of this in, say, here's a definitive area for decision makers, then you yourself will be able to make decisions along with them. As AMC is at 350.79, and even me in my very risk management way of describing things would say that that's positive. It's still now an open and close, and I'd say nah. Say no, and I mean, I know people get excited, and I say my TA says until this candle open. I mean, it's just, I don't trust that at all. You're in your golden pocket. There's your take profit. As for people would be doing that, that's what would they be doing, but they can't because it's after orders. Boom, top of the golden pocket. That's your joint horizontal support and resistance on the 4 hour. As you can see with this open and close here, it's at this 6.5.65 Fibonacci. There's your answer for that question. It's also the 50 period moving average. It's at the top of the Bollinger Bands. I know it's after hours. People, this is it, boom. I mean, yeah, sure, it does not to say it doesn't open and close above there and go on and do things, and if it does, that's very significant. The next level above you to look at is 37.59. It's just like you're asking so much of the thing there. It's not asking much of my TA that I can't tell you the answer. I'm telling you the answer. You're asking a lot of it. And so, right, so, and you're asking market participants to do something that I would be hard pressed to do. So, and then if you do get above 37, you've actually got $40, and that's your resistance really on longer term time frames. And while it would look like a good move off the back of this channel, it wouldn't necessarily say you've escaped the well of gravity that's holding you here. It would just be a different type of formation. You'd still be putting in a lower high until such time as that trend confirmed as having switched. You've got the 50 period moving average up here at 45. It's hard to get excited before that happens, but as and when it does happen, you get out of this formation, you get out of this potential bull flag, then you'll have a measured move. That measured move is this one. If you see, when I take this off, it's a log chart, so it moves relative to where it's coming from. You can see here's your flagpole, buddy, up to the top here, and that's how you do your measured move. And take it on there and see if it works like this. Then it takes you up, and you're in around $90, 90 to 97. Then your next stage above that is, like we said, Fibonacci areas for retracements. Now you would do Fibonacci extensions and whatnot, and do it properly. But you can see from this one here already, you've got 2414 and 2618 coming in at your previous highs in the 70s. Whoops. Get beyond them, and maybe you are looking like still in this formation here. We've already got some bits of it drawn on, but if you recover the 618, that's at $51 on that. And this is, I'm not talking about this happening now, I'm talking about on the way to this doing things on the top side. Because you asked me, and I got the impression you didn't watch the video earlier, or any of the two videos I did earlier on this, or any of the time I did this during the live stream earlier, or perhaps I've ever seen my stuff before. So I'm telling you it like this. Should you break above these areas at the 51, that's very, very important. Support and resistance on a horizontal level, never mind the fact that it's the significance of breaking the 618 and the Fibonacci. Then go on and defeat this Fibonacci. You'd look to the extension targets, the 1414 and 1618 are in at $107 or so, $137 or so, and that's the sort of thing you're looking at on AMC, give or take $2. If it breaks first 34, it's like, then, I mean, like on an open market time, then up like $40, then up 45, then 51, then 70s, and then you're looking straight up to 97, and then you're looking at 107, then 137. And when that happens, come back here and say, thank you very much, sir. That $2 or whatever, that $10, that $20 or whatever it was, made a huge difference. And I'll say that you spent me to have an answer, and I'll say, I would have done it for free, buddy. GME, AMC, I'll cover them for free. You don't need to donate to get me to talk about those things. And thank you very much for viewing and liking and tuning in. And spread the word, please. More. Right, what else does everybody want? 3616. That's great. And to do it, see it doing stuff in after hours is good. Positive. Let me drop down again, 15 minutes, check it out. Auto. Yes, nice candle, by the way. When does it close? Still 8 minutes on it. And I don't know if I drew these lines on when you were watching along. If you were top of the day to you if it is. Just tuning in, thank you very much. You're appreciated. It is 36 minutes after market close, and since things got interesting, it turns out on AMC above resistance, but not really. Is your green line here is interesting at 35, and retest of that not out of the question. Above you, it's questionable where support and resistance levels are, but 37 looks to be it. Interesting. Just one, I forgot to ask again. Have you looked at our rocket? Have I? Probably a number of times. Yes, I looked at it. My dad's in it. There you go. 36.52. Go on a chunk more. 37.68. Go on, make me look good as well as going up there. Oh, a donation. What was that? GME, how do I apply for citizenship in unreasonable land? You buy a Ferrari Sperta. You get Bing Bong written on the side of it. And then send me a picture of you in it. And I send you one back saying, I don't have one, you're not allowed in. Yeah, and then I get one and I'm like, come on, join. Come in and join me. Or I'll like, you can go, oh, look at there, it's doing it. You can just join, right? It's a state of mind. That's what it is. It's a state of mind at the minute. Until such times as we all get Ferrari Spertas, and then it's a place inside your car. We'll all go driving places together that are beautiful, and we'll all get a massive Airbus to pick us all up and take us there, and we'll pay Rolls-Royce to do the innovation and get us sustainable air travel. Did you do the thing, Tradespotting? What was that thing? H. Jones. I don't know if I did anything. What was the things I was supposed to be doing? I don't know, yo! But I don't trust this candle yet. I also don't trust it because it's after hours and it's not getting up to these levels. Baby. What's GME doing after hours as it happens? 161, 1363 there. Oh, looks like it's doing something too in these after hours. Still, again, resistance above it. Same story. And because it's not something you can see, really, it's not something you can trust. Trust. What's happening? What's happening? State of mind, mate. That's what it is. Till such times as we all get something we can call it. Like, I'd love it if we all had a big, massive community of people like-minded and then in all same state of mind. They're unreasonable, and just like what you do is you say, right, I'm literally never going to fucking sell these shares. Anyone comes asking for them, I'm going to tell them to get the fuck out of my garden, and then tune in here every so often, and then you're in unreasonable land and you'll never be able to leave it. Tradespotting, to finish the order, if needed, a zip code and phone. Had a couple of books ordered for the both of us. Oh, right, cool. Well, I'll phone up then. I mean, maybe that's just domestically, you can just send it that way. I'll phone them up and find out what it is specifically for the PO box, and then put it on the stream somewhere, write it down, talk about it, make it obvious, and they'll get that done for you by tomorrow, because I'll have market opens will come after Britain has opened tomorrow, so I'll find out for you and then give it on the stream tomorrow exactly what it is if you're sending from abroad. Obviously in Britain we don't have zip codes, we have postal codes, and then so far it would be the PO box that would just constitute the postal code, and that PO box though isn't numbers as they might previously been. I've got PO box unreasonable land, so I'll find out what the formatting is that suits yourselves. FOMO, short F, Tradespotting to finish. Right, okay, to finish the order. Sorry, I'll do that for you, Grace Foundation. Don't know what it is right until then, but that sounds good. Tradespotting, anyway, you could show the Darkpool train for GME. Thanks for all you do. That random guy 712. I haven't got it open, but I will have a look at it then. Feed your head white. Right, rightio. Well, I'll do this to finish then. And this is the Darkpool opening up for me. Open sesame. Grace Foundation, Tradespotting. Easier to have sent directly from ordered from. Oh, pardon. Why is that all moving so fast as well? What does that mean? Yo, there you are, Rockstar. Rockstar, put the kettle on. I'm coming up to you. I'm coming for you, Rocky. Oh, right. This is what we're going to do, right? After MOS, this show's going to be amazing, right? What we're going to do is we're going to have a thing where after MOS, as the show still goes on, right? And we've got other doom to slay. What we're going to do is once a week or once a month we'll be filming the show, and it'll seem like, the same things going on as always, but you won't know exactly where I am, and I'll turn up at one of your houses with a big surprise, and you'll be on the live show. I'll be like, boom, and come in and like surprise you where you're watching it, and then you'll be on, and it'll be a big surprise. It's going to be brilliant, right? This is proper 90s throwback to the golden age of television for our generation in Britain. I'm going to bring back all of the best shit, and you wait till you get a visit from Mr. Probably. It's going to be brilliant fun, guys. So, my Darkpool data, it's open, it's ready. How did I get this pop-out window? So this is what's most useful for GME because of the way that they hide information, and even then, like, it doesn't necessarily show up in Darkpool charts the way you might appreciate it doing, so to speak. How do I do this? Window capture. And no. That one? No. Which one is it? That one. There we go. Gotcha. Right, and as I say, I'm still getting used to learning about all of this thing and all the tools that are available on it, of which there aren't many and they aren't that good. You could drop a Fibonacci on it. Let's got that on. Sorry, there's a bar playing really bad music. What else was I going to do here? I was going to change something, screenshot it. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Pardon me. From bing to bong to ding to dong, it's Tradespotting. Shepherds of Unicorn, thank you very much for tuning in, and our like button. That's actually terrifying. Apple! You saw Apple there, did you? Apple, what was that on the right? That's Spy. Holy sugars. Just glad you're not dealing with that, by the way. Spy looks rank. Apple, picking up institutional orders did, and the retail, no problem there. Well done, Apple. That's recovering with higher lows and putting in higher highs. Tell you that's dodgy though in the long term. Anyway, let's see. We're at the GME, right? You've got the GME. It's too small for you guys to see anything there, isn't it? Put this all in better. I make a dimension smaller, and then I can show up at my house and you'll be surprised by a naked Dan cooking meth in trailer, listening to Twisted Sister and Air Maiden out there. You're sharing decibels and touching unless it's the day I sleep. Wow. Well, that sounds like a very good show. That would be excellent content. Here's a chat for you to chill out for the rest of tonight. Peace, bro. Oh, wow. Thanks, Chris. You're a legend. You're a legend, Chris, in loads of ways. Hope things are going good for you where you are, and other people over there. Hope you're doing well. Bang and boom. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Everybody else over there. Good to see you, folks. Right, so make this bigger. Right, so it's easier to see. And what are we looking at essentially? Well, we've got higher highs on retails, not breaking that previous level of where it dropped down, kind of dropping horizontal lines here. You can see that it's coming in, it's retesting it, and that's positive. In terms of the institutional order flow there, you can see it's doing a similar thing. It didn't break its previous highs though, so it's not yet gone up, whereas we have, so that would obviously be another reason for that turn back. It's good to see these things ahead of time. If I'd had it open, see that there's no divergence between those two moves. Everything looks similar. That's a higher high, this is a higher high. It's lower than over here though, whereas this is obviously higher than over there. So scooping up the volatility, that would represent all of that being scooped off you. Market makers obviously, short is long, long is short if you're a market maker and you're looking at their trades. So we'll see if that order flow would represent that. How do I split this up so that it's, instead of a thingy, it's a thingy chart options, and I want just dark. Boom, boom. Just dark. Please. This time, or the combos like Andy, but whatever, it's not really changing nothing, is it? Just move it around different time frames and get it to jugglies, right? So then, you know, you can do all the things with this, can't you? Can you not? Oh man, you're so annoying. This other platforms are all shit. How did I do this like that? No, because it just takes me back in time. That is so useless! You see, nothing's perfect, eh? That was a turn up there. It's lower than its previous lows. We're way lower than our previous ones, and they're not actually broken its actual ones here, whereas we're way below ours. So they're obviously get a different picture than us, and they've tested their low and bounced back as they would way below it and didn't notice. And there was a big move on the cards there to find that out. I hate this stupid tiny chart. And it's the compromises you make to get different info. Then dark, it's the same thing here. There's no real divergences, and there's nothing particular to learn other than it's retesting support, and that I would see that this is period of it's just an expression of what happened here when it came back. They obviously got out of a head and shoulders. We've done that move now for us. They didn't need that. Neither of us have broken our previous supports. Something to keep an eye on throughout the week. It had a good day in terms of range, and they'll have soaked up some of that volatility. It's the sort of thing that's best checking with, like, tomorrow, having done what we've done today, and watching throughout the week. So that's that aspect to that part of the dark pool, institutional order flow. And then, pardon me, just so the people in AMC don't feel left out, we've also got the other dark full data that suits better for what, that's the wrong one. Why are you doing that? They've also got this other one for these get rid of this now. For AMC, I tend to look at this other one which tracks the option flow pardon me, tracks the option flow better. And so that's more common where you'll see all your AMC stuff, but we'll also put GME into there and see if it comes back with any answers. It's dead freaking slow, and I've got to add it to the chart, so it will take me a minute. Bear with me. GME AMC, thank you very much, sir. And then over here I go add window capture. Source, oops, cancel, add window capture, please do it properly this time, Jamie. Add the source. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, where are you? Ugh. You're so annoying, mate. Right, here you are. Get it down to actual visibles, because the numbers are so tiny on this thing. It's like, what do you think you're going to like? Honestly, how are you supposed to read these things? Like, not just for you guys. This is in massive. How am I supposed to read it like on my screen? Like, even when nothing fits anyway. So as you can tell, I'm sort of getting used to this one. These are mostly AMC trades right now. As I said, you're looking at this on the options flow in particular. What you're going to see a lot of is market makers offsetting your positions. This is the sort of stuff you really wouldn't normally see. It's like when you take a trade, market makers facilitating that by providing the liquidity for it. His or her way of making money is by providing the spread, from the spread and providing liquidity. And so as soon as you buy, they will offset it on the other side. And so what you often see in terms of trades on these sorts of exchange, you would expect to be that person offsetting a different trade. So if you see a buy in the option chain on the dark pool, it's common sense to question and probably likely put some weight towards the idea that it's actually short is long and long is short. So as you can see here, AMC, we've had lots of longs, and in my mind that's probably market makers offsetting their positions. The strength with regards to how important this particular platform thinks is it puts a lot of that weight, I would say, on the premium people are paying in order to make these trades possible, and they're paying quite hefty amounts. So I'd say that these are big trades coming in that are being offset on the dark pool option flow, and you can see that that might be to the detriment of AMC over the short period, where these positions though themselves might then themselves be covering something else. So it's very difficult to draw much of a definitive decision from this information, and so it's positive to look at it in a broadest term as possible, but build it into your picture of information along with thinking of it as a flow and looking at the ups and downs between things. And as you can see, when prices were down here, right, when this was the end of last week, when things were low, there was like red, right? That's puts, and those were offsetting longs that people were taking on to lit markets, which were putting the price up, and then it got up, and here you have people then offsetting those positions again. And so it may well be that we're at the top of the trend for AMC in the short term, but can you be sure of that? Well, there's a lot of activity, and then you go back to AMC and double check and see what it made it to after hours. 35.88 has not gone beyond there, and that candle coming back inside the golden pocket and beyond it may well be that there's more retracement on this, but that's good. It's very much at least expected to retest in these 34-35 bucks. 34.50, sorry, you would expect something in around there, or 34.74. I would. But then, you know, if it just keeps going from here, congratulations. It's just like it's hard to put weight on those things because of the fact that there's your significant horizontal above it, all that what we talked about on the behind the scenes, as well as like what's on the lit exchanges. It does seem to suggest to me it's at the top side of things, having broken out of this potential downward sloping diagonal resistance. I know that's 15 minutes and I hate talking about it, but having done that, and started to try this thing as a measured move, you've really kind of failed on the left hand side to break that shoulder, so we'll see how that goes. It may well be that it tests those areas are down below, in which case I wouldn't want anyone to be demoralized, because there is absolutely nothing to suggest that there's been wide scale distribution of this. It's also very much in an accumulation phase. It's just where does it completely fill its jets, and it may be down the bottom. So these option trades, you know, the premium on them is like a couple of $100,000, 250, 280, 100, 76, 150, 100, 377k. Big fat premiums people are paying, right? So hefty money in this, swirling around, hefty amounts in individual trades. Some of these are sweep orders, right, which means they're hitting every exchange for anything they can get at that price all at the same time, and they're identifying their position, so they're probably doing it because they're worried. And then there's block trades, right? They're negotiated and they get put through as well. And then split trades, right? They split between there's obviously not split between itself, right? Because that's in the same. Well, maybe it is. Maybe that's somebody just opening a straddle there, but I doubt it. 40, 30. What's the delta on that? Nah. So thanks very much. That's the dark pool stuff there. You've also got you can see that there's all sorts of activity, and probably more than one. There's your guided a block, and then well, you could spend longer looking at this and try and draw more narratives out of it, but you've got a lot of what I'm thinking, and I'm trying to parse through these things and work out what added value there actually is, because obviously there's lots of intangible things that I implicitly communicate here that people perhaps don't pick up on because I don't say them explicitly and draw attention to them, and it may be that those are better communicated when I've got a dark pool chart up behind me. And when I talk about some elements of things that are going on in the exchange and how that does show the manipulation in the first instance. So I'm not sure if there really is value in these tools or not, but I'll keep trying to find out from it. And I've added others and had a look at them and didn't think so. So we'll see. And those ones didn't make it to here. But these ones did, so I'm going to keep using them to see what I can get out of them. And if I find out from more, if you've got more, I'll happily pay and get those ones too. Don't worry if it costs money. I'll see it and test it out, right? Try and cover that cost if there is one. And then we'll end up with the best suite of tools that give us the best possible data points for added value to the time you put in here. And I know it take up a lot of time sometimes, and you devote a lot of time to watching these shows, and it's appreciated. I really do honestly appreciate it and value your time a lot. And thank you so much for tuning in. And thanks. Yes, so I think I'm going to end it there. Unless I've missed anything important, I want to thank everybody, obviously. Thank you, Tradespotting, for today. Sweet dreams. You're welcome, Vic Vince. I don't know if I'll go to sleep for you yet. I've had a lot of coffee, but I'm going to go and see you, Rocky. So if you're still there, please prepare for my arrival. Oh my goodness. Damn. 34.40. Yeah, I can't say we've broken 35 yet on AMC, but I hope we have soon. Sorry, so it just has soon. I hope it has soon. GME 161.13, aftermarket 162.20. I'd be positive, continue that trend with a touch of the 236. Be very, very positive. 4 hour again, it's not all that different from AMC in that you've got really important 4 hour support and resistance levels. In this case, resistance above you, 236s, other ones, 618, golden pockets of different fibs. Still got that to break, still got overall downward sloping areas where price action could get caught, and these are confluent with areas on the left. So it's important to see how things evolve tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. 857 likes. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Case. Yo. Thanks everybody for liking it and stuff. I appreciate you. That's that option flow data in the background. It's been covering me where I was talking about price action there. Sorry. Didn't mean that as bad. And I think I'm getting better at YouTube, and I'm really actually just like lucky every so often. So thanks for everybody who helps me, supports the channel, who just be nice to me. Thanks, guys. And I'll be back tomorrow. You'll see Rocky pre-market, a good long thick show at the start of the day tomorrow, pre-market, where Rocky will cover everything you can possibly want to know ahead of the market's opening. And you'll talk about the likely opening range, the likely trading range for the day, how to stretch your trades over the day to make the most out of them. These are how the way Rocky communicates. And he covers everything. So definitely tune in for that. He'll be open for an hour and a half at least pre-market, Rocky tomorrow, Rocky Outcrop, youtube.com/Rocky Outcrop, where you could perhaps see a segment from me on these things where I'll do like quick segments for people. If not, you will also be able to find, and if so, a quick clip pre-market for me as prices open on the day, discussing the opening range and what you're likely to see. Quite like a brief weather report, you might say. The news for GME and TA with price action for the day as given to you by a pro trader. That's communicated in a way for somebody who's passionate and cares about the same thing you do. That's kind of what it's there for. Reliable info from a person that wants to be reliable for you. So that'll be there. Busy clip for people. Also, if you just tune in now and you want deeper TA, obviously I covered it in this about GME and AMC, but I also did a clip for today's close. It's like 5 minutes long, super fast. You'll be able to get everything you need from that. And also, again, of course, I'll be back for another live stream starting 3 hours before market close tomorrow, and carrying price through the end of the day price action. Much more entertaining even than today, with different kinds of news, maybe even actual news. Though there was actual news at the start of today's news section. And I'll do it in a way that keeps you entertained, lets you know what's coming, and hopefully if you've got suggestions, bits you like more than others and whatnot, tell me about them and I shall try and build them in. Thanks so much for all your help. Where's this credits thing? I'm going to run the credits thing because I do like saying thanks. Oh, roll of credits. A really good show. Love that. Right, thank you very much. Super chats. You know you can donate free using the links in the description, and it's probably better for both of us, but thank you so much. Super chats: Rob Davis, Daniel Groves, Hates Jones, Daniel Assange, Mr. Wooden, Algo, Fred Wade, Chris Sweeney, Bam Bam Jama, CE Burn Guy, GC, Isme, Legend, Space Monkey, Cosmic Lightning Warrior. Wow, what a team, guys. Sam Bone, Salamander, Fennec Duck, Little Dumbass, Mark's a good lad. The Geck, forename, nickname, Chris K. Sweet. And then look at all those subscribers. Monkey Man Boss, yo, Mr. Boba Wee, Pete Austin, Tyler P, Sylvester Powell, Nate Huey. Thanks to everybody who subscribed as well. 88 CD Scott, Dedalio. I can't carry anymore. Mickey Z, Monkey Best, SYJ. Look at, oh, wow, holy bloopers. And then 2 new Doomslayers, Ashley and Literal Dumbass. Thanks. Membership things make a huge difference. Like, sort of feels more reliable. Price is 161, spot 1 free. Well, that was the close. Actually, aftermarket, we're up another $1. Thank you for every one of you guys supporting the channel. You're all legends. It really makes a difference. Really love you. Thanks so much. And thanks Case Guy. Thanks Frostcrest. Thanks Harriet. Thanks Luke. Thanks Daniel. Who all? Did I see Luke? I don't know. Who else is a Harry Buttcheeks is not being around. Who else was it saying? Rocky, I saw you at the end there. Thanks. And for everybody, I hope if you did, I answered your questions and gave you good value for your donations there, because you know, but there's haters out there and they bleat on about it for ages. So I always want to make sure that if you did ask for something, I definitely at least gave you more than it was what you had, what was worth more than whatever you did, at least that, if not like much more, so that I do feel like I'm doing the right thing always. Cool. And I hope I entertained you and kept you happy today. And if you weren't chatting and didn't see your name but you were listening along, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And if you haven't hit like yet, please do. And you can clip and share this with everybody. I'm sure they like it. Thank you so much. Thank you, and see you tomorrow in Rocky's chat. I'll be in there in chat 1.5 hours before market open for the pre-market with Rocky.